All right, hello and welcome. This is Eric from Onboard Gaming, and we have got your next episode of the Warmaster Challenge. With me here tonight is friend and leader of Xenos Petting Zoo, Steven. How you doing, Steven?
What's up, guys? Doing well tonight. Ready for a hot battle for the Warmaster Challenge here. This is going to be a good one, a competitive one.
Yep, last week we had Nick Hierman beat Steve Rainey with his Custodes, and he is back again today with a very unique list that I think we're going to find is very interesting, and he is going to be fighting against our new challenger today, Joel Wilson, and his Death Watch.
Yeah. Right. So it's going to be interesting. Joel's, for those of you that don't know Joel's a very accomplished player. He's one of two people that have the a showing in the top 4 for Death Watch in the world. He's frequent tournament winner. So this is going to be a pretty competitive game. Let's welcome Joel. What's going on, Joel?
Hello, hello.
Right
Glad
on.
to be here.
Cool. So yeah, we're rolling through this. So Joel, you're bringing the watch today. Let's. I know that's one of your favorite armies. That's an army you always do well with. Let's talk about what you got in the watch.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so the watch can oftentimes come off as a very daunting army because there's a lot of moving pieces. Each of my units is what's called a kill team, which is comprised of 5 base Space Marine infantry, and then any combination of 5 other models from the Space Marine line, depending on the type of kill team. I've got 3 of the Firstborn type 1s, which are called Proteus kill teams, 1 Fortis kill team, which has some Primaris stuff. And then I've got...
Well, let's just start at the top there with your HQs here. So let's start with the Watchmaster.
Yeah, I've got the Watchmaster, who's going to be taking a extra relic and extra warlord trait for the Ultramarine warlord trait, which gives me command points back in a 5+, and
Spicy.
the Auspicator relic, which gives me +1 to hit against fly, which will help against that big scary flyer that Nick's bringing.
Yeah, that'll be sweet. That's awesome. He gives Chapter Master rerolls too, yeah?
Absolutely, yes. He is essentially a chapter master equivalent for the watch.
Nice. All right, let's keep going down. What else
And
do we
then
got?
I've got the librarian. He's a chief librarian with 3 powers. 1 is a debuff on Nick's stuff, and 2 are buffs on my things. And then he's got the Beacon Angelus, which is a once per game redeploy relic, which allows me to pull one of my units from anywhere on the table into within 6 inches of him. And then he's also got the 2 warlord traits. 1 allows me to shoot and do actions without the action failing within 6 inches. And then the other one allows me to select a unit, and they gain an additional reroll of 1s to wound against a selected battlefield roll, like my chapter tactic confers.
Sweet. And then you're just infantry base. You got a bunch of different kill teams of the Firstborn stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, running through that. And then what do we got different today? What else do we got running going on here, Joel?
Yeah, so the Fortis kill team, I've got a mix of some assault intercessors, an outrider, a sergeant with a thunderhammer, and then just 5 regular old intercessors rocking around, and they're kind of my cheap expendable Primaris unit that should be holding objectives.
Sweet. So a lot of OBSEC, a lot of bodies, a lot of utility. Dude, the Bacon Angelus, we love the bacon.
Yes,
that thing is
we love
amazing.
it. The redeploy is really nice.
That thing is so clutch.
Yeah. With Tanglefoot in the army right now, I'm probably not going to be using it aggressively, but it'll be a very useful tool in my toolkit.
Cool. All right, so sweet. We got the list pretty much straightforward. Just some minor changes, but mainly you're taking a lot of the watch on foot. You're taking some characters to buff them up, and then you've got the utility that goes with Death Watch. There's a lot of cheekiness you can do with the movement where you move your regular walking infantry, and then you have the bikes that can actually get a couple extra inches out of that, and then you can do different things at the beginning of the battle round to make them advance and charge. So
you can change my chapter tactic.
Yeah, super killer.
All sorts of stuff.
So you picked Vital Intelligence here. For those of you that don't know, when we do the Warmaster Challenge, the challenger always gets to pick the mission. That's his advantage somewhat. So let's talk about the mission. Let's talk about your secondaries. So you're picking Vital Intel. What are you thinking there? What are you feeling against Custodes? Let us know why you picked that one.
So against Custodes, I know that they have a low model count, and typically they tend to not have a crazy amount of objectives secured. It's just their infantry and bikers. And so I wanted to pick a mission that forces him to have to spread his few models across the table and not kind of bubble up with his durable blobs on one objective. So Vital Intelligence is great for that because 6 objectives, they're spread very far across the table, and the ability to leave an objective after you hold it gives me an advantage because if I can grab those objectives early and then hem him into his table edge with my superior model count, then that can give me a serious advantage.
Yeah, I like that. It's got data terminals, so you touch it, you have it in your command phase, and you have it until somebody else takes it from you.
Absolutely.
Super clutch. Yeah, and I like that. You're anticipating on making him have to spread into smaller units. Your OBSEC can go further there, right? You can do more damage. And remove and flip objectives easier because we know how durable custodians are. I like it. That's solid. And then let's walk us through your secondaries, man. What are we picking?
Yeah, so I've got Data Intercept, which is the mission objective, and the idea there is I have lots of units that can do actions, and if I need to, I have that the Warlord trait, which allows one of my big, kill teams that are hard to kill, do the data intercept, and ensure that, and still be able to contribute their firepower. Engage on all fronts. I'm going to want to spread across the table because I need to apply pressure to all the objectives ideally. So that will get me points by just doing what my army does. And then retrieve Octarius data is going to be another action-based thing, which I can benefit from my warlord trait. So I can, since I'm going to be spreading out across the table for engage, it makes sense that each turn I'll be able to do that action pretty efficiently.
Right, and then you're a Marine, so you're trying to hold it down and shoot while you're able to do that. It's going to
Yes.
be solid. Okay, cool. It seems like you're just trying to play the game on the mobility, exploit custodians for having to walk around and have less bodies than you. Seems like a good game plan. Is there anything crazy that you think might be a wild factor here in this game?
I think it's going to really come down to some invuln saves from Nick, because I've got the firepower, I've got the melee, but can it get through the invuln saves? He has a lot of 3-up invulnerable
Yeah,
saves.
he does.
Basically, over half his army has the 3-up invulnerable saves, so it's going to be real hard to actually kill stuff if he rolls well on the dice. But ultimately, I think with some of the tricks that I've got on the Calexis Assassin, which I unfortunately failed to mention in the list.
Right, the Assassin. We love that tech.
He has some fight last stuff. He's really hard to hit. He forces custodians to hit him on 6s, so he's just really obnoxious. And I think that could really help me mitigate some of the damage from him and just be a real nuisance.
Yeah, big brain
in
tech
general.
there. With that fight last is going to be clutch. That's such a good unit. It's an aura fight last, so it's not a targeted single unit. Anybody that you position that guy within is hosed. That's going to be awesome.
He's more than likely going to be following the Thunderhammers around the table, and if he charges into those Thunderhammers, they're going to hit him first.
Yep, that's amazing. Well, it sounds like a solid game plan. I like it. I'm stoked to see the Death Watch on the table. They're crazy. Hopefully some of the viewers are going to see some of the tech from that. And all right, Joel, great pleasure to have you, and let's see what you can do, man.
Absolutely. It's great to be here.
Awesome, man. Good luck.
Yeah, so gotta love that list. This is a list that pretty much is a slight tweak on a list that went to top 4 at Rage GT. Pretty big list. I like it, and let's see what he can do.
All right. Here we've got our defender, Nick Hierman, playing his Custodians today. How you doing, Nick?
Hello.
The reigning, defending, undisputed Nicholas Hierman. Right on. So we got Nick back in here. Nick's also had some recent tournament success. He's always seems like he's in the top 5 at the tournaments that he goes to. Very accomplished player. Like I said, this is going to be a great game. So Nick, very different look from what we've seen. We've seen Robot go smash recently, and now we've got
Giant
the boys, the dudes.
Yeah, it's the Emperor's football team and their 747.
So yeah, let's walk us through that list. Let us know what's going on.
It's a
And
very different list. I'm missing a couple of pieces now for unrelated reasons. So this is what I got. Now it's really just the Emperor's football team. It's as many 3-up saves as I can fit with just a little bit of punch to push someone back when they finally get to me. Joel tends to play very shooty, stand back and just sort of move around and score point lists. So if he slams his melee squad into me, I got one chance to just slap that thing down, and if it doesn't work, it's going to be a rough game.
right on. So yeah, so let's see. We've got Trajan. Trajan's giving you the free strat. Trajan's giving you OBSEC. Trajan is being Trajan. He's great.
He's got a 3-up involved.
Yeah, he's doing solid. He's the captain of the football team.
Yeah, he is.
Sweet. We've got for your troops, you're running 5, 5, and 3 custodian guards with the storm shields, ready to do the business.
Just 1-up, 3-ups to stand on objectives.
Right. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so for elites here, what are we doing? Alaris. What are we doing with the Alaris? What are you thinking? What's the game plan there?
My idea with the Alaris is I'm going to leave the Vexilla roughly central between the 2 objectives on the top right-hand corner of the map. And that way, if he puts either his bike squad or his real punchy Thunderhammer squad into one of those things, on reaction, I can drop the Terminators down to deal with it. And once they come down, they kind of just solidify that zone. And it's my hope and dream that the Ares will be able to shoot off a second objective.
Gotcha.
So if I can hold 3 and continually shoot him off 1, which is going to be dubious because of storm shields, but
Right.
if I can do that, there's points.
Okay, got it. I like it. They're gonna be a counterpunch unit, solid unit. Now here's the wild one. So you're bringing the palace, which are great value. You got 2 of those things. They can zip around. They can shoot. They're not super easy to kill. but they can do some damage. They're solid, reliable shooters, and they can zip around and give you some mobility that you don't have. And here's the thing. Let's talk about this Ares gunship.
Well, one more little note. The Palace can do collect vital intelligence.
Right, because it's
any unit.
It's any unit.
Oh.
So between allowing me to touch an edge objective turn 1 and without advancing and starting vital from a position of relative safety behind the ruin is valuable.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, anything can do it. And for you, that thing zipping around and maybe being in a safe spot, because, I mean, you guys are both relatively on foot.
We're slogging.
With these flyers and stuff, you actually might have a little more mobility than him in a lot of ways.
The Ares gunship, though, it is low volume, incredibly high value, and it drops bombs every turn. And really, the hope is that he spends enough time shooting cyclone missile launchers into the Ares, wounding on 5s because of Grim Resolve, and no rerolls because Custodes. The hope is that he spends enough shooting into that there isn't as many volume threats into the Storm Shields.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I like it. It's a big distraction, but it's also a distraction you can't ignore. And you can throw down some board control as well. So I like the list. Seems pretty straightforward. And Vital Intelligence, Joel picked it. How do you feel about that? What do you think about Vital Intel? Do you feel okay there? Do you feel like it's a little bit of an uphill battle? What are you thinking?
Vital Intelligence is something he scores really, really easily because he's so fast. Vital for me is just because I want to post up in a spot and just kind of, I would like to just be able to score 3 points on it consistently throughout the game. And I don't think I'm going to max Vital, but I hope that I can do well enough.
Or just keep pace with him.
Yeah, just keep pace with what he's doing because
Right.
we might just be drawing a line down the center of the board and shooting each other. So
Yeah, could be like that. And then, so you feel okay into Vital. You feel like it's easy for him, but you feel like it proposes you some advantage. So knowing that, we're taking Data Intercept. What other secondaries are you taking?
So Strangle is really just because of the nature of the list I'm running. I sure hope that the Ares can kill a unit of Deathwatch off of an objective. So between the Palace and the Ares, I would like to be able to clear off one of these outside objectives to score Strangle.
Right.
So
yeah.
because I'm gonna be pitching a tent on my objectives.
Right,
And
yeah.
it would be nice to reach out and at least wax off 3 turns worth of
Right.
of grind.
So Strangle there, and then grind. I mean, Custodes and grind. I mean, you're not really killing. The only thing that's going to be there is the Palace, or the only thing that's relative.
Right.
But I mean, if you can kill more, you're going to be in a whole different animal. I think it makes sense. I like those secondaries into a really durable obsec-y list. They make sense. I like it. So Nick, how do you feel like this plays out? I mean, you kind of told us, but Kibbles and Bits version here. What are you thinking?
Me and Joel have played a lot of games. I've gotten really close before. And
So it's tonight.
Yeah,
Tonight's the night.
today's the day.
considering the list, I'll be happy with a decent showing.
So I think he's being modest, but he's going to let the golden stream rip all up on Joel. So, all right, Nick. Well, dude, pleasure to have you again. Let's see if you can go 2-0. Best of luck to you, and
Thanks, man.
let's get it done.
All right, good luck, Nick. Yeah, as soon as you get out there, let's go ahead and get this thing started.
Let's get this party right on. This is going to be an interesting game. They both have a lot of similar ideas of how it's going to go. The Death Watch is very quick. I wonder how much, I think that, a lot of the meaningful damage and shooting is going to matter, but I think that it's going to be all of the bolter shots and chainsword swings that are really going to matter against Nick there.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that's going to pan out. Vital Intel, always a rough mission if you're an elite army.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how it's going to shake out. Let's see how this goes.
All right, let's switch over to the main board here.
Switching to the main board. That's a beautiful table. Alrighty, looking lunar. So we got deployment zones marked, set up with those objectives. Pretty balanced table. I like it. So we're looking good. All right, chat. This one's to you guys. Who do we think's taking this one down? Early game predictions.
And I think that Ares is going to be such a wild card in this. It's one of those things I feel is I'm just going to smash it, because Joel's not expecting that. He would never expect that. He expected to run into a bunch of dreadnoughts, which just aren't there, or it's going to get blasted off the table turn 1. So
Right, yeah.
We will see.
Well, cyclones are not an ideal thing to be knocking down.
No, definitely
but,
not.
And then, it is a bomber, right? So it's going to be dropping some sort of mortals. That'll be interesting because Joel does take a lot of storm shields. So, that could be a factor. I wonder, it could be, this is going to be like an obvious statement, but it goes to say it could be a real big factor. It could be nothing.
It will definitely be something or not be something. I agree with you.
Alrighty.
So we do have a brand new overlay on the screen right now. This is showing the deployment zones and the objectives. We'll be popping this off as soon as they start here. Ooh, Ares gunship deploying down there in the corner. That thing just barely fits in the deployment zone.
Yeah, that thing's not hiding.
No. I've never actually seen one of those on the board. That's
I've never actually seen one in my life ever until the day. An Ares gunship.
Doesn't even look like a 40K model.
Yeah, it almost looks like I don't know, like a pod racer.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick and I actually had a little conversation about the Ares before he chose that for this game, just because in certain deployment zones it doesn't actually fit there.
Yeah, well, they recently just had a big. There's actually an FAQ that addressed it. So it used to be a big issue where if the part of the model wasn't on the table, then it couldn't actually act on the first turn. The first turn would act as it coming onto the board,
right?
More or less, and it couldn't really do anything, which is a huge disadvantage to that kind of stuff,
right?
And just kind of exploiting the size of the model, but at the same time too, it does make sense. Now they made it to where if the base fits on there, but the model overhangs on the turn 1, it's fine as long as it's corrected after the first movement phase, which is solid. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree.
Some deployment zones are really restrictive. Like, what if you're on the scouring or something?
Yeah,
you're in a little box. Like, what are you gonna do?
No,
you
we're
don't
gonna
get a choice.
put that thing right.
You get punished for picking something that they make. Alrighty. So units are getting set. Units are getting spread. It's kind of interesting in Vital Intel. I always feel like unless you're super aware, this kind of makes people subliminally tend to stretch thin anyways. You kind of think about a competitive game of 40K, and most of your advanced players or people that are reaching the higher levels of competitive play, they're focused on holding on to 2 objectives. And that's their main focus in the beginning. So a good player will keep on their backfield and really just make a move towards 1 in a kind of a defensive position in order to minimize their losses and maximize the efficiency. This mission can cause people more than any other mission to really just get greedy, I've seen, and actually just be thinking about, like, it's like, oh my god, there's all these objectives in the midboard, I gotta get some of them. It's almost like an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just bolting to get stuff, and then it's like, man, you can really get punished. So you got to reel that in on this mission. It's a hard mission for elite armies, I think. We got our reigning champion Warmaster himself in the chat as well. Shout out to my boy Logan Heath. Right on. So you see Joel back there. He's trying to spread that footprint with the bikes as much as possible to really limit where the base can fit. So that's a solid play. He's trying to make it. He's trying to dictate where he goes. That's a really good play.
I'm just spreading the bikes out so that way I can sort of 50-inch move. Yeah. Okay. So it can move the whole like base 50. So I put down the bikes.
Yeah, that thing can just go anywhere. Does Ares have hover? Do you know?
I don't know.
Can't remember if it does or not.
Pull up that data sheet.
Is anybody in chat familiar with the Ares gunship? Do you know if it has hover or not? I'm just wondering if maneuvering this thing around the board is going to become an issue if Joel moves around appropriately.
It will be, but most of these flyers, you can actually fly off the table if you get in a bind.
Oh, that's right.
And then come
Yeah.
back on. So, I mean, worst case scenario, you do your thing and then you got to fly off.
Being obnoxious and make it so that Ares can't move effectively over my stuff. Three shieldy lads.
So the Ares is T8. It's got 22 wounds, flying 20 to 50. It's got the Arachnus Heavy Blaze Cannon. So it's shooting 48 inches or 36 with a volume fire. The volume fire is strength 7, AP 2, 1 damage. The beam is one shot, but it's strength 9, AP -4, D3 +3. So that's beast.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then it's got the bomb. So once per turn, after the bearer has moved, you can select 1 point on the battlefield that the bearer has moved across. Roll 1d6 for each unit within 6 inches of that point. -1 if it's a vehicle or a monster or a character. If it's a non-vehicle, non-monster character. So just the infantry characters.
Right.
And on a 4-up, they take D3 mortals. So that's pretty good.
Wow, within 6 inches?
That's beast mode.
Jeez, that's
Yeah, and then it can, in the command phase, choose to hover.
okay.
So it loses the hard to hit and supersonic, but...
Which he's not going to want to do here, I don't think, unless
And
it comes in really clutch.
Right, and then it's got a 5-up invuln and the -1 to hit and supersonic.
You say it was tough 8?
It's tough 8. So,
Oh,
I mean, maybe you
22
do
wins.
want to hover around. I mean, like I said, he kind of wants him to be shooting at the Ares.
Right.
You know? Because the Ares is killy, but I don't think it's not going to be it's not a positional thing. It's not something that's going to be holding objectives or, score. It can score engage, actually.
Yeah, he didn't take engage, though, but I think dropping that bomb's
Oh,
gonna...
right. He just took Stranglehold. He took Grind Them Down. And he took, yeah, so he's going to be looking at just bomb stuff.
Yeah, let's look at this. So, Data Intercept, Stranglehold, and Grind Them Down for Nick.
Yeah, so interesting. So that's going to put some damage on Joel for sure because all those Storm Shields, that sucks to take all
Yeah.
those mortals.
Concealed positions in order to place one. Probably want to be as far away from those guys as I can.
Oh, and one thing that I don't think Joel went over on his list, he does have a unit of Eliminators.
Right, that's a new thing he's been taking. He's been taking the 3 of them because what it does is what he's doing right now is allow him to deploy in the middle, put him in cover. Those things in cover are so annoying. They have like what do they have, a 1-up save in
Yeah,
cover?
it's +2 to
Yeah.
the save. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. They're hard to hit, so, it's just tough to get him out of there. Better than Nurglings, but kind of like the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not for the shooting. It's just for the obsec that's like that. So both of them are deployed, and they're getting ready to roll off. Let's see who takes it.
Oh, there we go.
Double ones. That's ominous.
A 2, a 3. It looks like it's Custodies turn 1.
The Golden Stream seizes the initiative to go first. Let's see what goes on. So let's take a look here.
Indeed you do. Absolutely.
So it's looking like I feel like Nick's going to be moving up this way with this unit. They're going to kind of come up and they're going to want to tag this objective right here. I think the Ares, let's see, he kind of limited where it's going to go, so he's going to be cagey. So I think, this guy's probably going to just end up going way over this way is where I think it's going to go. Start tagging that. And then, over here is where I think in this general area, these guys, I think Nick is going to really start being a little more. He's going to be cagey with these objectives because I think he is aware of his separation. So, I think he's going to be maybe zipping the palace over this way. So So yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm anticipating for his turn. We'll see if it's different. Yep, there we go. So we'll see what we got here. So this is clutch. So another thing that's important is getting the first turn with data intercept. I like it because what he gets to do is use some of the mobile stuff to actually dictate what he can kind of move, block, and do some stopping of other units and prevent them from doing their thing. So I think that's cool because say you're data intercepting in certain places, you can block them, and yeah, it's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Nick did take objective 2 down there in the corner. Those eliminators are not OBSEC, but the custodes are. He's running up and grabbing objective 5 as well.
Right, so now it's going to be a tricky thing because now, I mean, there's a big bundle here. So, it's like, what's going to happen? I mean, does he body bomb and go this way with these 2 units? I mean, I don't necessarily think so. Down low over here is going to be a little bit, this bottom corner over here. I mean, the bikes have the mobility. I mean, they could zoom like this direction, but that's a little bit now of a mobility stretch. So he's going to kind of want to be up in this area with the 2 arrows up top. And I think it's going to be a real battle over the top 2. I'm curious to see what factor the Alaris do play now.
Yeah.
So he's bringing the Vexilla over there. Yeah, it's going to be wild up there. I think the Vexilla's going to be up there with the Terminators. The Terminators are going to be up there and really try to refute, and they're going to bully whatever objective out of 4 or 5 starts to lose ground. Mm-hmm. The Ares can do a lot of damage, to answer the question in the chat. It's got a laser beam weapon, which has a profile of doing 1 shot, and it's like a Cognis las cannon, or it does 4 shots that are kind of like an autocannon. But the big thing is any unit that he picks a point on the map, and every unit within 6 inches of that on a 4-up takes D3 mortal wounds, which is pretty beast mode.
Speaking of Ares, there it goes.
There it goes. I think there's only really one spot he can land it. Ooh, so savvy play. He's move blocking with it because he's saying, "Hey, do your thing." But what he's making it is to where he can't get past that area.
Right, yeah. Now, he is sacrificing using the bomb, because you do have to cross over models to do that, correct?
Right. Now, here's the thing, though. Most of this stuff is base or hull, so notice that nose cone sticking out. So he's probably going to be able to drop a bomb right up there. Yeah, we're looking at, this little area is the area of impact. So right here, this little spot is what's really going to tell us what he can do. Because if he picks a spot right there, there's a lot of stuff within 6 inches.
That is
of that
several units worth of stuff
spot right there. So, we'll see what happens. So like we talked about earlier, for those of you that didn't miss it or didn't hear it, and the newer guys coming to the channel, for those of you that play the missions and understand, one big thing is about mission-specific objectives that are not outside of the normal book ones or the ones that are their codex, is none of them have an infantry-specific or any unit-specific declaration in those. So you can do them with anything. So Nick is using his grav tank to intercept data.
That is great. Yeah, I did not know that.
No, I can pick a point. So everything about this model measures to the base. Okay. There's no measure of the hull. So this is a point at which I flew over. So I can drop the bomb there.
Oh, interesting.
Right, so the players are deliberating a little bit. We're kind of talking a little bit about what we talked about. So the nuance is a little different, but the principle is the same. So everything about the Ares actually is dealing with the base. So what's going to happen is, like we said, so he's just going to pick the very front of the base right here, and that's what they're measuring right now. So this point is what it's going to do is it's going to allow every unit within that spot
Within 6 inches. It's
to
basically
take-
like an explosion.
It's
Yeah.
boom. It's a vehicle explosion every turn.
Yeah, I find that very interesting because a lot of the stuff like that you see, you have to pick a unit to
Yep.
target, right? This is
No, you
just
pick-
a spot that you've moved over,
spot,
which
yep.
is directly beneath the plane.
Oh, you hit the librarius. Oh, 3 damage to the librarian.
Man,
Wow.
ooh, hits the Colexus. 3
Man, he
mortal
hit
wounds on that.
both those
That's
characters
pretty
for
good.
3 damage.
I really thought that would hit more units than that, but
It's a 4-up, so you're just flipping a coin every
Yeah.
time. It can really swing your way. It can really not swing your way.
Right.
It's a 4-up into a D3. Talk about the swinginess. You know, you're gonna be like, nope. Oh, sick. That one took 1. Took 1. Oh. All right, so I think Nick's in a pretty good position here. I wonder if Joel actually kind of abandons. Well, I mean, the other thing though is the Thunderhammer squad. Oh, it's supersonic. You can't charge it.
Nope. The only the only effective weapons he's got there is cyclone missile launchers, to my knowledge.
Right. I wonder if
And
the play here, the Cyclones, and I mean,
You're wounding on 5s with them. It's
Right.
tough.
and the thing that sucks is the Cyclone missile launcher is not even just a regular missile launcher, so you can't use any of like the flak missile stratagems that give you plus damage into flyers and
right.
stuff like that. So Nick is really targeting the Thunderhammer squad. So what we're getting is the Palace right here is firing up into the Thunderhammer squad right there. 1 AP4 wound to that unit. All right.
Green shows through. It won't show up on the screen.
Is that green?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Where's the yellow? I'm colorblind.
No.
I explained this to Anthony the other day.
That's not orange.
Close as it gets.
Alrighty. Oh, it has 2 of the Arachnus launchers, so 2 of those laser beams. Logan there, coming in on the correction. He's correcting me when he knew what I meant. Actually. I appreciate him nonetheless. He's right. Supersonic is not the rule that makes him not able to be targeted. It's the airborne rule. Supersonic makes him -1 to hit.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Ooh, now the D3 shot. The Magna Blaze Cannon. That's such a custodian weapon. That's like a custodian or an ultramarine weapon. The Magna Ultimate Cannon of the Emperor.
Strength 14, jeez. Ooh, don't stop that storm shield.
Joel spends a CP here. Please don't stop. I want you to keep on doing it. Because the benefit of that is, you know, a large portion of this is the competitive side of solid games. Another portion of that is, you know, we all tune in to increase our knowledge. So, dude, if you got the knowledge, drop it. But drop it with tact. Tastefully drop the knowledge. Respectfully drop that knowledge.
You have to prefix everything with actually.
Alrighty, so just for those of you that are local watching, every Thursday night we also do TNF, which stands for Thursday Night Fights here at OBG. It's a great time. A lot of people come out, and it's a great way to get your tournament practice in or practice your lists that you're thinking about doing that, or even just get a good game with a collective of good people. You know, chat it, throw it up in the OBG Discord, or if you're in the XPZ Discord, let us know. We're always down to pair people into that. It's a good time. Looking always to expand and have more people join and just have fun and play Warhammer.
Yeah, we've had a ton of people coming out recently. It's been really good. If you are new to the competitive scene and want to just see how things work and chat up all the XPZ people here, and we also have Dice Hammer and Vanguard Tactics and Wrecked and a few other
Wrecked.
teams that come in. So yeah, just come on down, hang out, talk to some people. It's a good time.
All right, so we've got the Deathwatch command phase kicking off here. So let's see. So Deathwatch command phase is important. They select their doctrines. They select the data sheets they're going to go against, and he also has the option to use the stratagem to select which. He can change his chapter tactic. So Joel's going against troops. He's staying in the tactical.
Probably a good idea at this point. I don't see any other real good option for him right this second.
I like that what he's already showing is that he's showing that the unit over here, these guys, he's actually decided to target all the way downtown towards the palace in the back. It's good because what it tells us is that rather than going for the Ares, he's going to focus on the smaller, more achievable targets from here instead of just trying to do what Nick wants you to do.
Which is dump all the shots
into that
Ares,
thing
yeah.
that's going to do minimal damage. So, I like it. It makes sense.
I think that's a smart move because I just feel like right now trying to dump all the shots in there, it's 22 wounds. It's going to take more than one round to drop. And
Right.
Those other tanks, I think, are just much bigger threat at this point.
Right. So Joel's talking about making his guys in the assault doctrine. Now, this is the movement stuff we talked about with Deathwatch. So what he can do here is he can effectively take this unit. He can take the unit that's in the back over there and as I mess this up. Hold on. So he gets a lot of extra movement, and what we're in essence trying to do is what he's going for here is the ability to take the unit back here and follow along their tape measure. Sorry for the redundancy, but we'll keep it there. He can move the 6 inches with the guys on foot, but the unit also allows the stuff with higher movement profile to move up to their full movement while still
Right.
being in cohesion. So he can get actually like from back here forward to getting like a 9-inch move out of that unit. Now he makes them white scars so he can then advance and still
and
be able to
charge, yeah.
charge. So he's going like 9 inches plus D6 plus a charge. And then it depends. I think he also has some stuff that might be able to give him +1 to the charge and things like that. So this is one of those things that Deathwatch do that most people, if you like, your in-game acumen, you're not really looking for that as often. It's not something that is everywhere. So this is a very unique thing to Deathwatch. And if you're not used to it, you're like, dude, oh my God, how did that unit of dudes that look like infantry actually cover? You got the 6 on the advance. Watch this.
Yeah.
Watch
And-
this.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but that bike can also now pass through walls because it gets
It's
infantry
infantry,
keyword, right?
exactly. So now you're getting the unit. So now you're getting these guys that are in his deployment zone, getting all the way to the end of that arrow right there.
Uh-huh.
And so this is going to be absurd. Watch this. And then, so then you're going to get a charge. So, Nick, most people in this scenario, you're safe. You're not getting hit. He's going to walk. He's going to have a YOLO charge. He can try to shoot you.
Right, yeah.
But now he's going to body on a unit onto that objective. It is gross. You're getting some Harlequin movement there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
It's like, dude.
Yeah, and previously, before this move here, there just wasn't a lot of threat. They had 3 eliminators down there versus a bunch of custodes.
Right.
And
So Nick's like, you know what? I'm going to go over there. I'm behind this wall. You're not going to shoot me. This is my objective. No. And now you're going to see the veteran thing about Joel too. Is notice how nobody's on objective 3. So if he does the charge right, he can actually touch both 2 and 3,
right.
which is annoying.
Jeez. Also, a little trick that Joel's been doing with the eliminators is they can shoot and scoot. So
Yeah,
you
you
can get a lot of deceptive distance out of them.
The watch, dude. You got to be ready for the watch.
I don't think that's really worth it. So I think I'll see how far this melee squad can go first. So they'll go ahead and advance.
One thing Joel does do a lot, if you've ever played against him, is he like kind of like sidearms his dice. Like I don't know if it's like trying to be cool or like, and he throws dice out of his tray all the time.
That's how you get the sixes.
Yeah, what you do is you just sacrifice one, and then
That's a pro gamer move.
pro game move.
They're going to go up to there, and then maybe these guys try to advance off of that objective potentially.
Yeah, that's in hindsight. That response to chat. Chat had mentioned not necessarily having to put your models on 2 and 3, but just put them close by so that you can come up and counter if you need to in the next turn. And that is a difference. But like I told you, I said it in the beginning of this. I'm like, dude, this mission makes you want to just go for objectives like it's an Easter egg hunt. And what happens is this a lot. You overextend. I don't know if Nick necessarily cares or not. We'll see. But this sucks for him, and had he positioned back and not necessarily needed to be on those objectives and really just played for 4 and 5 like he did, or even just data intercept for 1 and 5, really aggressively, then he's not giving Joel, now he acted as an anchor that gives him 20 extra inches of board control.
Yep.
And that is a oof that you don't think about because, like I said, it's only relevant, and the only thing that's really doing this is Death Watch, or, so that is at least doing it so hidden.
Tuck in there real good like that, and then
Totally does.
It's all good.
so with these Terminators, I think they're going to start moving forward around.
Other squad, I think, will sit still.
I'm definitely in range of that palace with all the missiles, so the other squad doesn't have to move.
Yeah, pulling those Terminators out to shoot at the palace.
Yeah, he's going to try to bop the palace, and he's going to try to just, establish a foothold on 2 and 3, I think, while he slowly tries to maybe get that hammer unit over there and probably just battle over 4. And then I think what this does is actually where Nick had a really good first turn, it puts him in a really interesting spot. Now, also, one thing that we can consider here is that in not shooting the Ares, Nick can actually come this way and just bomb the heck out of these dudes, and start doing that. And then, it opens up the ability to then, you're here and then you do your pivot and then you go the other way, and you start coming, whatever, this way. And, it's just a bunch of wonkiness. You only get it up to 90 degrees, but still, it opens up some movement. Or even if you wanted to hover after that,
Those guys, that's not really going to happen.
I think he just moves to a safe location.
Yeah, I think after maybe turn 2 or so, basically, if Joel's not going to take the bait and shoot the Ares, then you switch to hover and go wherever you need to go. Do the body blocking, take out the units. I mean, Nick had said that he wanted to be able to shoot a Death Watch squad off of an objective every turn.
Yeah,
I
now
don't know if that's necessarily realistic with the Ares. Some good rolls, whatever, but he can definitely do some damage if he.
I think that
needs
mixed
to.
with the mortals, mixed with the support of 1 or 2 palace tanks is definitely there.
Yeah.
Like Nick said, he was trying to really focus on stuff. So maybe you gotta focus now on that kill team down low.
I think it's a good place to start. It had come up that maybe try to use Tanglefoot on that squad at the bottom there, so it can't quite get in. But they need line of sight for that to work. Is that right?
I don't know. I don't know if Tanglefoot needs line of sight. It relegates it to a single die, which is super. It's like I wonder though. Dude, Custodes, trying to remember every stratagem custodians
lot of
have
them, yeah.
is also like equally as, it's like, dude, there's so many and they all seem unbelievable. It's like, dude, I'm going to take away your charge and your invulnerable save and I'm going to send you into space and it costs 1 CP. What the heck? At least they have that though. I mean, they are kind of getting power crept pretty hard, so.
Yeah, because I anticipate some melee coming in.
Squad advanced, right?
Yeah, everything but the Terminators advanced pretty much.
So the only charge is here.
Yes. And then I guys do retrieve Octarius data in this quadrant and still shoot, and then these guys
They have to be wholly 6 away from the other two.
I believe so.
So you gotta be 20, or you gotta be 36 away from this edge to do it.
Let's see here. I can go ahead and have
So you're not wholly.
yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll have the librarian do data intercept, and these guys retrieve Octarius data. The 10-man squad here. Okay, so they're going to retrieve Octarius data.
They're with the hats. They have the cyclone missile.
Yes, the Cyclone squad here. So those are my 2 actions. These will just denote the data terminals. Then I don't have any yet. And then let's go ahead and I think that's
So we're ending the movement phase. He's going ahead and he's starting to.
now we'll hop into the psychic phase.
He's declaring what's going to data intercept. What's doing Octarius data.
Yeah, the squad's up near 6. We're doing that. He was trying to do the Terminators there. He said he was able to do that and still fire, so I assume that's
Yeah,
Death
there's
Watch
a
strat.
there's a 2 CP stratagem that allows Space Marines to do that.
But to actually activate Octarius, you have to be 6 inches away from a board edge or a table quarter edge, I believe.
Yeah, you can. It's like a big bold plus sign
Yeah,
in the middle of the
yeah.
board. Yeah.
So that didn't work out, so we pushed back to the squad that's on 6.
Yeah, I should have just strung back the other. It's okay. I think. I don't think it's a huge deal. So I'll have the Watchmaster do the action because I think the psychic powers are going to be more useful.
So he had to call a switch here. You guys can probably hear it on channel, but I like to reiterate anyways. He's going to have his Watchmaster do it, which is a big deal because through the phase, he does lose the aura of reroll 1s.
Goes off on an 11. Where is he at? He is right here. I mean, it's an 11 though. So yeah, so you're denied.
Yeah, you originally elected the Librarian to do it, but he decided the psychic powers are
Yeah,
more important.
he needs those.
Alright, so that will go off, and I'm going to throw the Flat Film of Pain on the melee squad, just because I feel like they're going to take a lot of pain.
So he's doubling down. He's protecting the melee squad with a 5-up Feel No Pain spell.
Throw out perfect resonance.
And yeah, you know, the thing is that Librarian's going to be key too, because that also is going to give that the second source of sneaky movement. Because one of those other things you can easily forget is that he can suck a unit over to that dude, and then it just is totally interesting when all of a sudden you think you're safe from these Thunderhammer dudes, and all of a sudden,
They
bam,
teleport
you know,
across
and
the
yeah,
board. Yeah.
then they're Blood Angels or whatever, you know, like oh my god.
Yes, and then those guys have that. There we go. They have that power there, and then we'll go ahead and do some shooting.
On to the shooting phase.
I'm gonna be blasting. I'm just gonna try to blast. I think the Ares is just too tough. I think shooting at it is gonna be a waste of shots, really. I think for the most part, I'm probably just gonna.
Yeah, so Joel just vocalizing there kind of what we were thinking that
Yeah, you don't.
he's not falling for that
I'm
one.
gonna shoot crack missiles at the Ares. I mean, unless you have like 10, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a trap to eat 6 crack missiles.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw the back squad here.
But is it a trap to just let your army take mortal wounds every turn in the most optimal positions?
It depends. I mean, if everything was clustered together, I'd say it's a bigger threat. I mean, the main guns can do damage, but I think the tanks do more. Dropping the mortal wounds obviously is an issue, but they gotta be within 6 inches of it. It has to travel near them or travel. The bombing path has to be whatever. It's
Or it's
only
like-
triggers on a 4-up, so
It's
half
like
the time
Psychers
it's doing
with
not
the
doing
smites.
anything.
It's like, dude, it's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
you know, do you form your game plan around stopping smites? I mean, maybe, but like, you know, it's just something you consider and take into account in your decisions.
Yeah, well, he can mitigate some of this though just by keeping units not that close to each other.
Yeah, and he's got the Feel No Pain as well. So now he de-incentivized mortal wounds on the.
Right.
For these guys, because they didn't move. So Fury the First could be useful. Well, no, multiple pieces of dents don't apply multiple minuses. That's fine. So in fact, I think I will do Fury the First.
Ooh, Joel's doing Fury the First. Firstborn stratagem that gives +1 to hit for a unit.
Wow.
I got it back. So I'll be hitting you.
I use that all the time in my Dark Angels. It's really awesome. Especially, it's really awesome when you have Thunderhammers. You know.
That helped. That got me 2 extra hits. So
Dang, Fury the First, 1 CP, getting him 2 extra hits.
and then rerolling 1s because I gave it fast. These guys got the reroll 1s against fast attack. So reroll reroll ones because of Vigilance Incarnate, giving them reroll ones against fast attack. So 4 at AP2.
Dang.
Your 5 ups, yes sir. So that will be 3d6 damage, sir. He is super dead. They have 8
Ooh, wow.
only
6 wounds.
Yeah, they only have 6. They're
Really?
a little. They're almost like custodian. It says the word tank, so it throws you off. They're like land speeders.
Huh.
They're
Okay.
like just custodian. They're super cheap. They're 95 points. They're mega effective. Yeah, I mean, of anything Nick could have lost, that's probably the least consequential.
Yeah. No, I did not know that. Just looking at them, I thought they'd be at least 11 wounds, but surprise. What, 95 points? That is very
Cheap.
efficient.
It's cheap. Yeah, and the gun is good. The guns are good on him. So they're a great unit. The problem is like just the same thing because they're like miniature Caladius tanks. They only have a 5-up invuln, so it's like they're not like what's normal about custodes is the durability.
Yeah.
shooting at the big boy is a trap.
So you've already spent Fury in the first. So this
Yes.
squad's not going to get the
They're going to hit on 4s. Yeah. And also they have 2 minuses to hit, so it wouldn't help me anyways. I would need the Auspicator to make it matter. So
In that case, I'm going to go ahead.
When I hear Joel like voice things like when I first met him, he was playing and he had the Bane bolts of Erixia and the inflection, just Joel saying it in the Joel manner, it just makes me laugh. You've got the Bane bolts of Erixia. It's almost
Half the
like
time we just make up the
the
names for various things.
trans-dimensional abdicator or whatever. You're like, oh my goodness.
So I'm moving you on 4s. All right, so here comes 4 missiles. So it's 4s and 4s, and I only get to reroll 1s to wound. So here we go. So a decent hit roll there, 4 hits, and then wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s because my mission tactic is troops. So 2.
2, 3. Or what's the AP on these? A bunch?
AP2. It'll put you to your invul.
Actually, no, it won't. Because oh, no,
It's dense, not light.
It's
Yeah.
not light. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3s. We're good.
Okay, there we go.
Custodians doing what custodians do.
Going in.
Passing saves.
Yep.
Bolters here. Hitting on 4s.
Stormbolters also firing
Reroll 1s.
into dudes.
Wow, that's excessive. And I get a couple through. That's 6.
That's this is 6 2-ups.
Hey, I did a wound.
Jeez.
And then how many
Bolter does a wound.
Yeah.
That
Missiles,
matters.
no. Stormbolters, yes.
That's the thing is, dude, you roll enough dice, you know, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I am within 24, so I don't.
I say that, but I always feel so bad whenever I'm trying to do that against custodians. It's like, oh, are you gonna ever fail anything?
Sometimes it feels like they just don't.
Be forced to wound because of
Dude, just the,
fire shell.
it's just,
Hey, there we go. 3 wounds.
it's so easy to get tilted. It's like, dude, can I do anything?
All right, there we go. Yep, those saves coming in.
But then there's the times where they roll 3 ones in a row or 4 ones in a row, and it's like, oh, sorry.
I don't say sorry. Dude, you walk around with 3-up invulns all day, every day. I feel no sympathy.
Speculum, why not? D3 shots for 2 shots.
The Animus Speculum.
I advance and wounding on a 5. Hey, that's 1 wounded AP4.
Dang.
All right, you're fine. So
Passing saves.
the eliminators will shoot downtown into them. So hit 2 shots here. Both hit. Use a hit on 2s, and then 4s to wound.
Joel throwing
Yeah,
dice out
he's
of the
just
box.
flinging that
He
stuff.
flings them sidearm.
Aggressive rolls.
One guy. Hey, there you go. And then they'll go ahead and move after they shot. So they're gonna
Yeah,
go
pretty
ahead
much all these guys have storm shields plus the regular Terminator armor, so it's just
One
it's
ups,
2 ups.
3-ups.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't touch the
Well, actually, yeah, 1-up, 3-ups.
so I'll just do this sort of thing. Just stay behind that dense as best I can.
Yeah,
Did
so
he just do the thing?
he
The
did the
fire
thing,
fade?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Shoot eliminators, and then I move.
Shot. Hey, at least I killed the palace. That was the goal, to reduce some
Are,
of your firepower back at me.
Are Deathwatch like Space Marine Harlequins?
Let's hop.
You see that Orc Harlequin army that was out there? It was super funny.
Was it a conversion army?
It's a conversion army of a bunch of orcs, but like it was like they commandeered Harlequins, or like they were trying to be Harlequins. It was really funny.
They're
They
all
had like
painted up.
they had like paper masks
Oh.
instead of like Harlequin masks. It was
Oh,
really
that's
funny.
perfect.
They're on the jet bikes in 2s, but they're like orcs. It's like they're trying to like I don't
love
know,
it.
like they're like delusional. It was a super funny army.
So, yeah, everything else advanced. So
Speaking of orcs, they're looking pretty spicy for the new codex.
I'm excited, man. Ooh, what was the charge of 10? Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's gonna be fun. Orcs are fun to play against. It's gonna shake it up. It's gonna be different, you know, rather than like the same old, you know. Hopefully, it's good and not oppressive. Also, I have a feeling that that army is actually going to give the armies that are at the top of the meta right now a pretty tough time. You know, I hope so. What it'll
I
do
hope
is
so.
kind of naturally balance.
Yeah.
So, I believe that's it. So we'll go straight into the fight phase.
Yeah. Definitely made that charge. Here comes the hammers.
Like I said, and then now a unit of Proteus kill team of firstborn dudes just covered 24 inches of board space. You know.
Deceptively fast sprinters.
So Nick's considering whether he wants to transhuman that unit to save dudes. For him, everybody does count.
Yeah, no, I think it would be the wise move because that's the only thing that's getting hit this turn anyway.
He's
so.
gonna hit back pretty hard. I don't know. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Hitting you on freeze because of pre-morphic resonance. And then with the Thunder Hammer, no. Because I have pre-morphic resonance for +1 to hit. Does that change your mind? Just go. Okay.
All right.
So Nick is not transhuman. Oh,
He's gonna tank it, and he might actually.
And now it
tank
looks big
there.
brain.
Yikes!
Power, and then wounding on a 3.
Oh,
There we go. Hey, nothing. I love that. That's awesome.
wow.
Complete whiff.
Okay, well,
And then it would be 6 attacks with the biker and 4 attacks with each of the assault intercessors.
So tons of chain swords. Here
Yep.
we go. AP1. Although actually does not matter. Oh, it's Nope, it's tactical.
yeah, doesn't matter. So,
Oh, did he put them in assault doctrine? I think he did.
just the one.
Just the one. I believe he did.
That is, wow, that's a lot actually. It'll put you to your invuln because it's AP2, because I'm in assault.
Oh yeah, you're
See?
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're correct.
That's what you do when you do the white scar shenanigans.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta.
what you do.
You get it maxed out.
Yes. Hey, I killed one guy. Hey. All right.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's still one guy dead. So one guy
So
dies.
one golden brother falls.
Thunderhammers, no. Chainswords, yes.
Go ahead and fight back. I think I
It's the weirdest thing.
do transhuman just in case because I don't want to just get walloped back. So I'll go back down to 5 CP.
So Joel's gonna transhuman. So I think with that volume, that's where the transhuman would have been huge. But I think that he was wounding on 5s anyways, huh? Because he was strength 4 on a toughness 5 of a custodian.
Yep.
So I don't think it's good that he didn't.
It would have been just to block the Thunderhammers, which I mean really had a lot of damage potential, but that total whiff.
They're still AP2. Oh, he had AP3, but I mean, it's a 3 at Binvuln. At that point, it's like, who cares? I think it was fine.
Yes. So I mean they're all the same save, but I think I'm going to allocate to the biker.
Responding to chat, yes, Palace died to missiles.
Yes. Well, they're all the same save, so there's not really any point in rolling them one at a time. Yeah, they're all 3 up. So I'm just going to roll all at the same time. We'll allocate the damage one at a time. So these are all. So you're looking for 6s. Yes, 6s to save. So I get no 6s. So one at a time on the biker. Woo. So he's down to 1 wound. So that next one kill him. Next I'll allocate to this guy. He's still alive. And then 1 left. Next guy in the squad. He's alive on 1 wound. Okay.
So Nick drops a bike and a dude.
Not too bad.
But taking some nasty damage back. Ouchie. Yeah, I was hoping.
Yeah, not exactly what Joel wanted there, but you know, it's a dice game.
How the heck is Nick at 1 CP? There's no way. That's
He's
accurate.
been burning it.
Has he? I don't know if that's accurate. We'll see though.
Actually, yeah, you're right, because he was at 9 a second ago. So unless he spent a whole bunch of strats, I didn't see.
I don't think so. I think he just
Typoed.
scores updating at the end of the battle round. So we're gonna see.
Yeah, Nick's going ahead and consolidating there. While would they do the scoreboard updates?
Body on, be safe. So we'll see. So now Joel's in a position where that unit down there on objective 2 has to succeed. Because I mean, if you spent all that CP, you flew up there, you killed one shield bro, and then you die back.
Yeah,
That's going to be rough.
it's not a great trade.
Did he contest the objective though? He did stop one victory point and the hold more, so that's important. Yeah, so Nick goes up to 10.
Yeah. Yeah, they saw and fixed it. That's good.
So Joel scoring 2 for engage for being in 3. Nick did not get stranglehold at the end of his turn. He did. He did not get grind him down, and he data intercept for 2.
Ares did just get switched to hover mode, so he's gonna float on over there. Yeah, that base is gigantic.
Nice. That's what's annoying about those flyers, is that they can just do what that giant base does.
And depending on where you're putting it or what your options are, I mean, that you can protect a unit from being charged.
Right.
Since you can't end on it.
Yeah.
And you can't charge it, at least not Joel's guys can't, 'cause they don't fly.
Right.
So.
And what he's trying to do
Oh,
is
wait a sec. Sorry. I was just thinking about this. If he's in hover now, he can be attacked.
he can be charged, but yeah, he can slingshot around him. The thing that Nick's trying to do here is use that giant base and then his other models to just make it to where, unless you kill some stuff, you can't tag more models than he has on it.
Yep.
So that's what you try to do. The downside to that big thing is what you give him is a decent slingshot unit. It's like the movie Armageddon, we're going to slingshot around the moon. That's kind of what you do with the charge, you just kind of launch around, and then you try to use that thing, and then you hope you roll high on the charge, and if you do, it flings you over.
Yeah.
And what you end up doing is just tagging into the stuff in a non-charge fashion, and you get hit back, but it's okay. Updating the score here. 2 for data intercept. This is a hold 2, hold 3, hold more, which is annoying. So
Yeah.
Nick's holding 2, which gives him 5 whole primary points. Usually vital intelligence is low scoring, especially if it's a competitive game.
So it's not in hover mode then?
No, we're going to turn it right, and we're going to make our 90-degree.
All right. Big ol' undo on the Ares.
That's what I thought he should have been doing.
Yeah.
Because what you want to do is you want to bomb that unit that's giving you trouble on objective 2. Body blocking is whatever, but
Oh yeah, sure.
You can actually still drop the bomb up at the top where he was before.
it's at
but-
any point in the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he could drop the bomb before he even takes off.
or the Terminators or whatever else. I mean, there's a lot of options here.
So
I mean, the top guys have a 5-up field
Right.
of pain, so it's probably not the best.
I think
option.
he's still trying to get on the. I think he doesn't want that melee unit to do the Emperor's work, because all of those flat 3 things are not good for custodians. You
yeah.
don't want to be failing a save to mean a dude or not.
Right.
So that's what he's trying to do, and I think he's going to keep on just trying to smack that unit. I think that palace down low, that thing's never moving. So let's see. Yeah, I think this guy right here, that's going to stay there all game and just do data, and the big thing here is I think that, with this movement here, it's good because it allows him, like I said, once again, he's going to be able to bomb this right here. He's going to bomb it twice, which is cool. He can bomb it now, or he can bomb up high and then bomb this next turn. So it kind of lets you, with that kind of movement, do the preemptive bombings. So,
Yeah.
it's good. And then I think that, like we kind of thought, it's going to be a battle on 4 and 5, and then Nick will have the Alaris up there to kind of counterpunch back because those things hit so hard. And we'll see what happens. So maybe he bombs the combat squad. He shoots into the guys on objective 2. Oh, they're in combat, so he doesn't shoot into them. With an AP4, you actually can put some meaningful shooting into the eliminators.
Yeah, because if you pop out, I'm probably just gonna kill him with pistols.
Yeah, and I'm not about that.
Yeah, I think hiding him behind there and doing data intercept is probably your best bet.
And your stuff in reserves. What is it?
It's 5 intercepts.
Okay, yeah, so the intercessors aren't going to kill it, so we should be fine for now.
Yeah, and they just brought this up, but Joel does have a 5 intercessor squad sitting in reserve still.
Smart. Lets you have some OBSEC you can enforce what you need it to later to play the
Yeah.
mission. Especially in a mission like this, hold 2, hold 3, hold more. It's so, like, losing objectives, just one objective is so much more impactful in the game in a domination mission setting than it is in a take and hold.
my base was this entire area.
Yeah. So you want to drop it here and then hit the 4 units?
Yeah. Okay. So he is dropping the bomb at the top there.
Just start with you.
Doing the same bombing.
Roll for these guys first, the big squad? Nope. The Colexus? No.
Oh, that's gonna kill him.
The melee blob? No. And then the 5-man. They do. Take D3. Do you wound a guy? That was underwhelming.
That was a little underwhelming.
Yeah, a little underwhelming. But hey, if you killed that Colexus there, I would have been really upset. That would have been very sad. But oh well, there it is. All right, so.
Oh, he rolled the 4. It was the -1. I thought he got it at first. I'm like, what are they talking about?
Oh, 'cause
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
character.
because the character is
Yeah.
-1. Yeah. In his command phase, Nick had 2 objectives. He scored a 5 this turn for primary. He had 1 and he had 5. He lost number 2 from Joel. Joel's currently on 3, 2, and 4.
2 is
or
contested,
6. 2 is 2. I don't know if it's contested. Oh, he dropped 2. It might be 3 on 3. Yeah, the chat is absolutely right. He could move off of them if he wanted to. However, A, that's risky because Joel still has reserves, and B, Nick is probably going to forget. Joel might forget too. That's another thing that a lot of people do in this mission.
Yes. It should. The way I measured it.
So your fight last is 3 inches from this gauntlet boy.
Yeah. So the way I measured it is, it should be if you're within.
So if I fight from here, for example, you're not going to get it.
True.
But then I'm not getting anything.
Yeah. If you get a long enough charge, you could probably finagle it where you're not in. But that
People forget the data terminals rule that this mission has to respond to chat, and what that does is it makes it so if you control an objective in your command phase, then you can leave that objective and you still control it until another enemy comes in and controls it. So, for an example, on objective number 1, Nick held it with the Palace grav tank in his command phase, both last turn and this turn, so he could fly that thing anywhere else, and that objective would still be his for all scoring purposes.
Yeah, but all it would take is one of Joel's models of any type to touch it. and then-
Right. It's kind of risky. He's got some jump pack stuff. A lot of the shenanigans are away because I believe the switching your chapter tactic, only one unit does it, and he kind of needs the charge to really get crazy on it.
Yeah.
it's all good, but like, would you have done that if I hadn't pointed it out or just now?
Yeah, probably not. So we're just going to go ahead. Even then, that's still less than a 6-inch charge.
Okay.
So I
Guess
think
they have to be wholly within 6.
so the unit has to be wholly within 6.
Okay.
So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop Trojans once per game for your strat.
Sure.
And I'm going to bring down the Terminators.
Absolutely.
The Alaris Terminators are coming down. Is Nick going to try to get an aggressive charge here when he was talking about not being aggressive? Let's see what he does. He was looking at it. He can get a charge off, but he has to end up really far up, kind of towards that Mechanicum structure. He's got to, realistically, he's got to get to like right in this area to not be affected by that Colexus. The Colexus is right here. So it's going to be a real nuanced thing, and it's going to be low impact if he does, because he's not going to have a lot of guys.
Is if you're within a half inch of any of these 3 guys, you would get the fight last. Yeah.
So it looks like we are inside of 7.
Okay.
It's from the black.
So it'd be a 6-inch charge. Sure. That sounds good to me, man.
So we're bringing them in, and I'm all kinds of all over the place right now.
Yeah, man.
And so if a single model touches that aura, does it affect the entire unit?
Yes.
Wow.
It is not. No, but they have storm shields.
Yes, they're not going to be transhuman.
No, sir.
So we got a block of boys.
Oh, I didn't know you were playing orcs. Alrighty, here they come.
From the golden light.
Big and scary.
From the Golden Stream they come. So he's dropping them down, and let's see what these Alaris can do.
That's all my end of movement phase stuff.
Yeah, sure, man.
If he gets on in there and avoids that fight last aura, probably quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Maybe. I don't think he's going to be able to get. 9 inches for sure. And then how much movement do you actually have?
Yeah.
Nothing. Alright, there we go.
We're going to there's still a bunch
There's
of.
still 6 guys, 3 of which being turbostops.
Okay. And how many Thunderhammers in the squad? 3?
Yes. No. 5.
5 Thunderhammers.
There are 5 Thunderhammers in that squad. Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Yes.
I'm just trying to decide whether I just fire my entire Ares into these boys to try and get strangled.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I already get strangled if I kill these guys.
Yeah. Because you're gonna want to shoot all your shots because I could just spend 1 CP for transhuman and make your shots a lot less effective on these
Yeah,
guys.
so we're gonna fire the Ares backwards.
Oh, going for the melee squad.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Back into this. Actually, no, I don't.
So yeah, Logan, I don't think you're missing anything there. I think that's exactly what they talked about. If he gets within a half inch of that squad, then it's going to be affected. Why he wouldn't want to fight outside that, I'm not sure. I mean, it would if he's outside of a half inch, then it prevents the guy behind him from fighting, I guess. But
Yeah.
is it worth it? Probably not.
Okay. You do hit him on 6s.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pay 2 CPs for superior
Shoot a character.
Well, no, I'm gonna pay 2 CPs.
Oh, yeah.
For inescapable vengeance to shoot the character.
So you're spending a total of 4.
Yes. And so, or no, it's 3. 2 for inescapable vengeance, 1 for superior fire patterns.
Okay. So you're down to 7.
Yeah. And
So Nick's making a play on this Colexus.
I need to check the strat to see if it's just rapid fire weapons or if I shoot the grenades into it too.
Was he going to fire the Alaris in there?
Yeah, the thing that's annoying though is that no matter what, you can only hit him on 6s. So I'm like, And he has a 4 up
he's-
invul.
but he's got 1 wound left.
Does have 1 wound left.
The back 2 guys are just outside of 12 reflexes, so you have 3 within 12 inches.
So, one second. Okay, thank you for remembering that.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry this is taking so long.
You're okay. You're okay. It happens.
It is inescapable vengeance
Sure.
to make their attacks in the shooting phase.
Okay, yeah. So you can shoot
So I
3.
shoot
The
grenade.
gauntlets are 12 inch range, right?
Yes. So we got 3. So we've got 3d3 grenades,
Uh-huh.
and then 3 times 4 plus
Plus 2.
yeah.
Plus 4.
Yeah, I can't math. So
Yeah,
3 of
so
them are
that would
rapid.
be a total of 16
Yeah,
for
so
the bolters,
3 of
and
them are
2
rapid
3d3 from the
So here's some grenades.
yeah. So 3d3.
3 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So hitting on 6s.
6 is here.
So 2 hits.
1, 2. These are
So-
83.
Well, you got to wound me.
Oh yeah,
That's a
I
hit
did.
roll. 1
Yeah,
wound.
1 wound.
4 up invulnerable. Good to go.
You're good. All right, so 3 of them are in rapid fire.
Yes, sir.
So 2. So it's 4 attacks. And
So Colexus already tanked 1.
2 for the knot, and then 4 for the in. So it's 12 in, 4 out.
If he can't kill that Colexus out of this, it's going to be a big loss. I mean, a shooting unit, and he dumped 4 CP into or 3 CP into.
Yeah, at
this.
that point, that character just made its points worth. Like,
Right.
You soaked 3 CP and like
Oh, I need to reroll that 1 to wound because of training.
Okay.
Here's the reroll 1 to wound.
Didn't matter.
All right, so this is
Hitting on 6s.
6 is rerolling 1s.
Sure. So you got 1 hit so far. Becomes still 1 hit.
1 hit. This is why I'm like, dude, that's a.
Does wound. I need 4 up here.
Here we go, 50-50.
I can make it.
Jeez.
That's the nature of the Colexus, man. Hitting on 6s against custodies, it's rough.
And that's what. Whenever Joel tries to talk to you about something that just went terrible for you, it feels so much worse. It feels so much worse. That's the nature of the game, man. It's like,
That's
oh
just
my
how it
God.
is.
Go away, Joel. Give me my 5 minutes of salt.
We're shooting the Ares,
Shooting the Ares.
and we are just going to shoot him.
So responding to Logan in chat real quick, yeah, I think that what you put out there is kind of a big brain play that the players may have missed into sequencing that to basically avoid the aura. I don't know if they thought about that or if there was
Joel
some,
told Nick about it, and Nick, I don't think Nick really knew about it until Joel pointed it out, which is funny.
Okay.
Yeah, they all have different
Yeah.
pattern
And then for Lost Wayfarer, what was happening was you had the Alaris Terminators that dropped down. They came down over near Objective 4, which I'll point out to you is kind of like right in this area. And they were firing in this direction up into the Colexus, which is right here. Now, that being said, then he started firing. I believe he also fired from the Ares up to there as well.
Yeah, so basically, and he had to use stratagems to do it since it's a character and you can't normally target it So he had to spend CP for that. He spent CP for something else that I didn't catch that was supposed to.
So what he did was he
bonus that.
spent 2 CP to ignore Lookout Sir, and then 1 CP to do something else cool. I don't remember what it was. It was a custodian strat. I don't remember all of them. Cool.
Unfortunately, with all those dice rolls, he did not actually. Well, he landed some wounds, but
He landed 2 wounds
yeah,
and
only
2
two.
4-up invulns. He matrixed those 2 shots.
Yep. So the assassin, very bad at dodging bombs, very good at dodging bullets.
I have no way to make it any harder. Oh, that's a 6 exactly. I can't. So there's no, with a 6, you can't finagle it to get out of my Colexis, so you're going to have to take the fight. We're just going to spend 4 CP in defensive strats. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be an interesting fight.
Yeah, so he got the minimum roll to get in there. He can't avoid it.
A lot of CP to fight.
Right, so there was a position where he would be able to do that, ignore the Lookout Sir. Actually, maybe Nick didn't realize, to be outside of, or maybe the point that he needed to get to in order to make that positionally happen. It's not there, man. Not there. So what's going on is the Alaris Terminators made the charge. However, I believe it's the Alaris Terminators. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made the charge up there, but they're affected by the Colexis' fight last ability, so they charged in order to fight last. And so he's going to get hit by 5 Thunderhammer Marines before he even gets to hit back, which Nick said he's pretty much going to be relegated to spend 4 of his 7 CP in defensive.
Start of the fight phase. See if I get any back. I do not. So I'm down to 3. What does it do? It's a 3-inch aura. Fight lasts from the Colexis. So you are within 3 inches because you're
So Joel spending the CP for the fight last aura.
fight last.
And then you get to, so you'll get the fight first.
I will fight first.
And what weapons are in this squad? Just a bunch of punchy
5
fists.
Thunderhammers, 1 being heavy, and then 1 dude with a chainsaw. No, is it a power sword? Who's left? It's 1 guy with a power sword. Yeah. But he's probably not going to go. It's probably just going to be the Thunderhammers because I'm probably going to pile.
This custodian is about to get whopped by like 5 hammers.
Yeah, but I mean, he ate a bunch of Thunderhammer shots on objective 2 and didn't lose anybody. So
Right.
we'll see.
Well, the volume here is much more significant.
yeah,
That was
there.
1 dude. This is 5.
All right, that's fair.
They're going to be 2 per plus shock assault, so 3 per dude. That's 15. It's the assault doctrine, so they're AP 3, putting him on his 4-ups. Yeah.
I don't believe I have the Chapter Master reroll, so I reroll all hits. Okay, yeah.
Oh, and they've got Chapter Master reroll, so that's
Oh,
rerolling all their
goodness.
hits.
Dude, did Nick just serve up? This is what you get. You were supposed to camp. You wanted to make him charge. Dude, that Colexis right now is an MVP.
Get within a half inch of that guy there. So we're good there. This guy will definitely not get the fight because he's only within 1 inch there.
There's 1 heavy Thunderhammer and 4 regulars.
Yep.
With Chapter Master rerolls in the Assault Doctrine.
Yeah,
What? It is 4-up invulns, though. Nick could spike.
he could. He could easily.
I don't think I have any strats here that will really help me.
So was it 5? So what are we looking at? 4 attacks per person?
3 attacks per person, 4 on the Sarge. Because
Okay.
it's a regular guy, so he'll have 2 attacks. Oh, no, it's not a Terminator. So if they're regular dudes and they're not Terminators, I think they are Terminators. If it's a regular guy, it has 1 attack plus shock assault. So 2 per. Because they're not Primaris, they're Firstborn. Unless they got upgraded to 1 wound and 1 attack.
Yeah, no pluses to hit in this squad here. I guess I could do Fury the first. I could
Let's look at that list real quick here. Fortis kill team, Proteus kill team.
The Proteus kill team is just going to be Firstborn. Is it 5 Terminators or just dudes?
I've already done the Soul Horror. Now
Jump
Where's
back
the
to the
melee
hammers.
unit?
Oh, there's.
straight up and hope that I roll well. So here comes the Heavy Thunderhammer.
Now let's go back to the main board.
Boom.
4s to wound because transhuman. So 1 wound. So 1.
1 heavy Thunderhammer wound. Uh-oh.
Ooh, bounced.
I've got regular
Even I was stressed out for that.
Yeah.
Regular Thunderhammers.
Black Shield. 3 from the Terminator. Sitting on 4s.
Yeah, it is
They're
Terminators.
Terminators, so yeah, it's a lot of attacks.
Roll. Can it translate to a good wound roll? Looks like a perfectly average hit roll, actually. Yep, it's just, yeah. One die better than average. But, not a great wound roll. 1, 2. Only 2. So,
Terrible wound roll. And can Nick spike it?
wow.
Yep.
Alright.
Blocked everything so far.
So I'm gonna elect to fight here.
Gross. Now I fight first. So I actually get to fight.
So you.
Oh no, actually, yeah, we would alternate. So you would no, because they didn't charge, so you can't select them because I fight first. So you would have to choose your.
So we have finished the targets that.
Yeah, so I would fight first.
So I'm pretty sure Nick did use his strat there to shut down rerolls and cancel out the chapter master thing because I didn't see Joel rerolling anything.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
With something
The one on the objective.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, sure. So you're down to 2.
Yep. So here is.
Dang, those Terminators up there are going to be in a tough spot.
Wounding on 3s.
Which ones?
The ones that didn't smash with the hammers.
Well, that sucks. I mean, he did all that stuff, got to fight first after being charged, and it really didn't do anything.
Right. I think Nick's on a budget with his CP, is the real truth.
No, I think Nick did because he said he was going to spend a bunch of defensive CP, and I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he shut down the rerolls and transhumaned. Yeah, that's why he didn't do the chapter masters.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy is whiffing so hard today. Hey, wounded at least. Can I get a failed 3-0? Yay! Oh, okay. Oh, I see
1 into a 1. That was an irresponsible CP. Oh, maybe it wasn't. That's worth a body. That matters.
I don't know. When you're down to 2, do you want to spend half your CP
It
for
matters. I think that's the thing though. Early game because 1 extra guy is a lot of attacks. Dude, that Calexis was pretty crazy. Even though the storm shields, the hammers whiffed, he took 4 CPs worth of fire from several different high value units.
that? Yeah.
Tanked it, stopped all of that, stopped him from getting hit by a super crazy unit and allowed him to swing first.
I mean, you got a lot of saves. Let's see if I can get a lot of saves in return.
Yeah, I feel like CP rerolls on stuff like that punish you for selecting to do that.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, I'm gonna spend 1 CP to reroll this roll. Ugh.
God, so many attacks. We've spent a lot of CP this game for nothing happening. This is kind of the name of the game here.
We're out of Trajan rerolls.
Yep. So just straight up. So 2s and 2s. Yeah.
Just 2s and 2s into the hammer unit.
Ooh.
That is a good hit roll. Yeah. And then wounded on 2s.
Hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s. Must be nice.
One right there. That's a lot of wound time. I'll roll the dice. 15. 16. Okay, sure. So 16.
16 Lars Terminator Gauntlet smacks.
Cool. Let's see how oof this is.
I'm going to take it on that vet in the back. He fails at damage. This might take a while, unfortunately. He has 1 wound left. So 4 up. The next damage.
Oh, yeah, because he's got 5 of feel no pain.
I'm going to keep track with the dice in my hand. You don't have to keep track. It's okay. Yeah, 2. So does he die? He dies. So next it would be, I'll put it on the first Terminator. 4 up. So the damage.
Not 1. That's 3. 0 for 3 on those.
Yeah.
He takes 1.
Oh, because they feel no pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if there's any
That's
time.
why this is taking so long.
Has 3 damage.
Multi-damage attacks on multi-damage models with feel no pains.
I'm not making any invulns, but at least the feel no pain is good. Alright, he's down to 1 wound. He's down to 1 wound left. Now the invuln kicks in. Okay, not quite. 3 damage, that should get him. That does get him. So next Terminator. Yeah, because these 2 are dead, so now I can allocate the
Oh, man, this...
fine.
I mean, he's doing a fairly decent job of
Oh
taking
my
this. but-
god.
Please.
He's. Oh my god.
Wow, the amount of at least the feel. If I didn't have this feel no pain, I'd be in trouble. So he's down to 2. There we go. There we go. Thank you.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
So 3 damage.
Oh my gosh.
Dead.
Oof.
And then the last Terminator takes it. Ooh, gotta make
Joel's 50% on his 5 plus pluses and like 5% on his 4-ups.
Sergeant and the what and the black shield.
So people live though. That's the big thing. That feel no pain was huge.
What does the Calexis look like in melee?
Not super stuff.
Alright, so I'm
He's a utility piece, man.
So I'm going to use the Inescapable Vengeance ability on the Alaris Terminators to pile in 3 inches towards the nearest character you have the closest model.
Okay. So this guy's based, so he can't.
Oh, he's based?
Yeah, well, that was the intention when I piled it.
Never mind then. So I'm just gonna scoot the boys, man. I'm just gonna scoot the boys.
Wait, you don't have any CP though.
Oh no, it's free. It's a dash.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're good.
Alright.
For sure. Okay.
I'm out of CP, boys.
I'll fight you back with these guys. They're probably not going to do a whole lot, but they'll try.
Oh, is that a second squad?
Yeah, these you piled into them.
Oh, I thought that was all the same squad.
Nope, it's 2 separate squads.
Alright, fine. Good.
Well, actually, with these guys, have not been in range to fight. If they were,
Well, I still had my full pilot that I didn't do either. We're just gonna do.
we'll leave it. Neither of us noticed that, so it's not a big deal. So they're gonna be
That last CP was a CP reroll,
4
right? That was the last thing.
from the sergeant.
I don't remember what that one last CP was. I think it was either a CP reroll. No, because he had one left. Unless they didn't deduct something. I don't know, but he spent it.
Yeah, I didn't catch what the last one was either.
Decent. I'll take 2. I can wound the guy maybe.
Yeah, OBJ2 was the reroll. He didn't reroll any damage. I think he might have done one of the Olaris specific strats. What was it, to consolidate closer or something like that.
We got what we're working with here. Cool. Well, I got a morale check to take on those guys. I lost 4 guys.
No. There's been no cheating. It's been fine.
4 guys. So I'm leadership 9 for the sergeant. So,
All right, morale checks.
and then I don't think I have to take morale anywhere else. Yeah, we're fine there. So that's the end of the turn. Yeah, looking around. So going into my turn.
All right. Moving into the bottom of 2 here.
Yes. So let's score you up at the end of the turn. So you're gonna go ahead. So yeah, you already put. Looks like somebody already put down strangle. Well, what did you kill?
So I killed nothing.
Yeah, so what we've seen here so far today is a high volume of high quality attacks that absolutely do nothing. I think we've only had 1 unit destroyed this entire game so far, being one of those light tanks.
Looks like someone already put that down.
Although Joel was trying to get rid of his own squad there by not making any of his invul saves.
So 6 on that, and then no grind, and boom, that's that. So data intercept for me would be
Man, Nick spent a lot of CP there.
He burned 10 CP?
He burned all 10 CP that
Yeah.
round. That was insane. And the damage he got was some Terminators dead up top.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this progresses, because now you can't go in there and just dump 10 CP a turn to make things
Yeah.
happen or not happen.
The thing is that I think Joel is going to be able to play the game away from objective 5 and 4. I think he's going to play heavy towards 3 and 2. And I think based on the secondaries here, Joel can kind of just hold on to those 3 and try to shut down Stranglehold, shut down grind them down, and then he should be able just to coast to victory, even if he just mirrors it and leaves that alone.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I don't know if engaging up there is necessarily going to be a good trade for him.
maybe I go tactical even. AP2 bolters could be nice. Although you've got a couple of guys in touching there. So how many models do you have on this objective? 4. Yep. So okay, I can potentially get there. We'll see how that does. So I want to try and knock you down to another 5. Oh, also in the primary, I'm gonna get 5. Yep. I'm holding 2. So we're pretty even in the primary right now. Gotta put that down here. For 5 primary points.
I'm on dice now.
So let's see here. So I think that's
Yeah, that's a ton of stuff up in the top left there.
different doctrine potentially. Do I need the extra AP? Those guys are in cover, so it's gonna be difficult to get through to them. So I could potentially put these guys into, or these guys into Devastator doctrine even. So I think I will spend 1 CP here to put them into the Devastator doctrine, just to hopefully do some damage to those.
Yeah, Joel switching Devastator Doctrine.
It's going. So let's see if I get the CP back.
I made like every save.
Failed the CP.
Yeah, we've got the bulk of Nick's forces still up here in the corner.
So, and then I think
Small bit there, and the Ares obviously, which can hover and do stuff. Then we got the tank left there. I don't know. Joel does have a significant amount of stuff kind of positioned where he can go either direction. Let's see where he goes.
so. This dude's gonna hop up. It's a bomber. Hop up to right there.
So pretty much the same cost as my 5 Terminators.
Or I guess I could also spend 2 CP to make them Blood Angels. Is that worth it?
So Joel's considering what he's going to put into. He's deciding what unit he's going to change the chapter tactic on, which is a huge important thing.
So we had to move here.
These guys here.
And what does that give them?
Well, actually, wait. Then they lose the reroll ones. No, actually, it's not worth it then. Because then they lose the reroll ones. Yeah, because I forget.
The important thing here is the Calexis is still around.
I don't think I'm actually gonna do that.
So he can 1 CP and make the Terminators fight last again, and Joel will still get a chance to whack and maybe drop 1 or 2 guys there too.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's falling back.
Mostly, I keep thinking that you can Tanglefoot, but you have no CP, so you can't. So there's really no point in me spending 2 CP to try to get a better charge when you can't stop me anyway. So I'm not going to actually do that. I think I'm just overthinking it, and I just need to continue what I'm doing. So then, I think what I got to do.
Yeah, Joel's kind of articulating what we were talking about here, where Nick spent a lot of command points to stay alive, and it worked. I mean, I think he paid off, but that fuel is gone.
Octarius. These guys can Octarius here, I think. That's pretty doable. So I think what these guys do is they just march over into this cover here, and then they're going to retrieve some Octarius data in this quadrant. So then I've got boom, boom. And then this Terminator squad will march forward. So this one will get to the edge of the building, and the other 2 will clear the building. Moving forward with this squad here, just starting to get into a more aggressive position for a future turn. And then Mr. Watchmister.
I need to get little like icons that they're on the screen here for various things.
I think he keeps doing the Octarius
Coming soon.
Data intercept. So he'll just walk behind and tuck in to this squad here, make it so that Ares can't shoot at him.
Yeah, I think that's the call. What do you? Oh man,
About the
I don't know.
Ares?
Getting bombed every turn does suck. Like, what are you gonna do?
It sucks, but the shots that Joel has available are better used on other stuff.
Right.
So these guys can do it. So he can.
He's only got cyclone missile launchers. They're going to be -1 to hit if it's supersonic. It's not right now. It is. Oh wait, no, it is. It's still supersonic, so -1 to hit. He's got Grim Resolve. It's going to be wounding on 5s. It's got 22 wounds. It's a lot to chew through.
Well, he doesn't have Grim Resolve anymore because he has 0 CP.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I wonder if Nick needed to use that much CP. I wonder if that was a thing that was important. I wonder if it was necessary, rather. Definitely important because every custode loss matters. But, I mean, spending 10 of your CP in a single turn, I don't know if I feel like it necessarily guarantee. I feel like spending that many CP needs to be something that's going to dictate the victory of the game. Like, that's going to tip it in your favor to win. Do we think that we've seen that sort of impact in this turn? Last turn, I mean, rather. Hard to say. So it's like, I don't know if he needed to spend all that CP. I wonder if he could have done that, spending, like, less of the CP, and still saving some in his pocket for defensive stuff moving forward,
I mean, it's hard to say, but at the end of the day, if you look at the board now, he didn't lose anything. So, I mean...
True. That's true. And
He
Joel did
basically-
lose a lot of the melee squad.
Yeah.
But one dude at a time is falling on objective 2, because I'm pretty sure Joel has that. And 3 is going to be hard, and if Joel's spreading out this much, it's going to be like, there's only so much fire that can go into certain places. So if he can't concentrate it all on something, those small, it's a lot of diminishing returns,
Yeah.
This guy flies, so he can fly right over this. So the Vanguard vet, the units don't have fly. The Vanguards act like they have fly for the purposes of movement. So that's why I was able to move him over the Ares.
So, but the bike can go through this, or do they?
Yes, because they have 1 infantry model in the unit, so they act as infantry for the purpose of interacting with terrain. Yeah, it's a weird. There's a lot of weird rules that each model kind of.
I think the Ares is going to have to go into hover or fly off the table next turn. I don't know if it necessarily has any place to go.
Yeah.
It's a minimum 20-inch move.
The other thing to consider, too, is Joel still has the Beacon Angelus. So that's going to be a big one. It's just like one of those things that I think that's going to be huge too, because Nick is probably not considering that at this point in the game because of all of the stuff that's happened. So if you're not constantly thinking about that, what's going to happen is you might make a movement phase or two with not having that in your mind. And he can just pull a unit that's up there that Nick's committed so much of his army to.
Is it any unit?
Any infantry, yeah. He can
Okay.
He can just.
So he could. Okay.
And I mean, think about right here. You've got 2 dudes in that unit left or whatever, right? And you're thinking about, Nick has grind them down. So maybe you pull that unit away and you
Yeah.
just deny some secondary there.
That would make sense.
Alexis might as well advance. So he's just going to go at a -1 to his movement. He's going to go normal 6 inches. We'll just hop around to right here. So now I've got 3 models on the objective right now. So I need to get 1 more model on to contest it. And so essentially these guys need to make their charge. And then I'll take that objective. Knock you to a 5-point turn. That's the intent. And then I held that at the beginning, so I would have gotten data terminals for it.
Yeah, Joel's just saying that if he makes that charge, he can get more models on the objective,
There we go.
um,
Looking around.
and basically
Yeah, we're
put Nick down to a 5-point primary. I think the
okay. So we're all set.
problem with that is he's jumping into a bunch of Terminators. I mean, a bunch of Custodes. So I'm just,
Throw the psychic powers. We'll start with Neural Shroud onto the dudes, the men, the Alaris. That goes off on an 8, so they have Neural Shroud on them. So they can only charge the closest unit, and they have -1 attack. And then I will throw out the 5 Pain, which goes off on 11, onto this big Terminator blob here, because they need to stay alive, because they're my biggest threat in the mid-board right now. And then I will throw... That's it for Psychic. Let's do some shooting. These guys can shoot because of optimized...
Joel said he had 1 unit in reserve. He said a bunch of intercessors. I was looking at his army list. It's probably just one of those kill teams. I didn't see just intercessors in there.
Blast these guys with some missiles and some storm bolters and all that jazz. Or maybe even I blast these guys.
So either way, you're -1 and there's a bunch of cover, but those don't have storm shields.
Exactly. Who do I blast? These guys are more likely to get hurt. And these guys are going to charge in. They don't do as much damage, really. These guys are the biggest threat, so I think I need to remove them. So missiles going into them. Well, actually, I don't think, because I think on a per model basis, this guy can, I think this one here has a clear line of sight for this guy. So I'll do 2 missiles and a -. Well, actually, they're -1 for moving anyways. So we're fine.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm not going to do semantics there, I suppose. Yeah, Fear the First isn't worth it in this situation. So it's just 4s rerolling 1s.
And this is going into what?
Into the Terminators. Into the Terminators there. Yeah. So hitting on 4.
So it looks like the fallback did happen. And he's just going to try to blast some Terminators.
Yep.
Probably repositioned with the Calexis in order to have the CP to make them fight last again.
Against the lead. So 2. -3, so put you to your end bonus.
-3, yep.
So the first one
Wow.
will kill the guy. The next one will kill a guy. So that's 2 Terminators down.
Wow. 2 Terminators down, and that squad was hit with the psychic power, so they can only charge the closest unit and their -1 attack. So that's taking quite a bit of bite out of that squad.
The Terminators?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pull whoever you want, man. I'm not gonna nickel and dime you on it. It's all good. So hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. Storm bolters coming in. I think that was a hit. I'm just gonna reroll it. I don't know. Okay, it was a hit anyway. And then wounding on 5s. 4 2-ups.
It's still into the Terminators?
Yes, sir. Oh my
Jeez.
goodness. Okay, so he's down to 1. Do you want to put it on which one? Does it matter? Do you want to put it on this one?
We're going to put it on this.
This one. Okay, got it. Cool. So then that was really unfortunate. And then bolters. I don't think it
Taking
matters.
some damage there off of regular storm bolters.
The AP could matter, but because I'm allocating the guy outside of cover. So I think I do the AP one-shots in the extra range. Nobody's in rapid fire, so it doesn't matter. So I've got 6 bolters. No, I think I lost a bolter. No, I've got 5 bolters, it looks like. No, I do have 6. I lost one in this squad. So 6 bolters. Reroll the 1. 1 hit. Probably not going to do anything anyways. Nope, didn't matter. And then we've got the Watchmaster's not doing an action, so he can go ahead and shoot into them as well with his Guardian Spear. He can
So just responding to chat, when you say unless Joel has Phobos, do you mean infiltrators?
for 2 shots.
Any Phobos stuff, because it's the Guerrilla Tactics redeploy strat.
Okay, he does. He's got the eliminators there. Wait, are they? They're in Phobos armor, right? Yeah.
Good there. So he's not hitting anything.
Yeah, I believe he does.
I'll check that.
But the thing is about the Phobos strat is it's not the same anymore because of the FAQ. So he'd go up in the air and Nick would get a chance to respond.
So yeah, I keep hammering on these guys. So here comes some more missiles. These are going to AB2, so the save in cover will matter. In fact, blinking off that one wound, I don't want to waste my damage here, so I'll do the bolters first. So I've got 4 bolters, doing the extra AP shots. Shooting through dents, yeah, because they're not touching it, so they all miss. Storm bolters here. Hitting on.
Yeah, the eliminators are keyword Phobos.
I forgot I'm rerolling everything actually. Yeah, so it's up to you if you want me to go back and reroll those bolter shots. We'll just keep going. It is what it is. But I am rerolling ones to wound. Hey, it got me an extra, so that's 3 at AP, nothing. Let's see if I can get a 1 here. You're good. Okay, so it is what it is. Missiles, hitting on 4s, rerolling everything. That's a good start.
Re-rolling everything.
Wow, good stuff. 3s to wound, rerolling 1s. Didn't even need it. That's 6 wounds.
Wow, that is pretty good rolls for those missiles.
Do this one at a time because,
So we've got one dude who's on a 4-up.
he's good. He's good.
Ooh. Bounce 2, bounce 3.
Oh, no.
You're good.
I've still got to do
I know. I'm just saying, pull it out of the. You're fine. It doesn't matter. So wow.
All right, well,
Oh my goodness.
That's been stellar.
So it's 50% 6 times. So 2 times 2 times is 4.
Custode's gonna custode there.
That's pretty good.
24.
That is a good result. It's a good thing I have Neural Shroud on them, so they'll be hopefully less killing.
So 1 in 9.
And then I guess, do I have any bolters from downtown here that can tickle anything? No. So I guess I'll just tickle the big plane.
T-tank that shit like a mother.
I'll shoot the plane with the storm bolters from the bikes because why not? And then I'll chuck a crack grenade from the Vanguard vet. Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
That is a hit, yeah. And then no wound.
Yeah, we're -1 to hit.
And then 4s with the bolters. And I think I knocked that. 5, no 6s, nothing. Yeah, didn't matter. So charge phase. I'm gonna charge the bikers into that last dude. Yeah, looking around, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. No, oh, he can shoot his animus speculum. Try to strip off that last wound. 2 shots. 1 hit. No wound, and then psych out grenades.
He can throw the grenade as well.
Yes, in addition. Oh, sorry, he advanced, so he can't shoot the grenade. That's it for that. But yeah, his ability allows him to shoot both weapons, even though it's a grenade. Charge phase. So let's start with these guys into that dude, probably like a 5-inch charge.
All right.
7 will do it. Yeah, that'll definitely do
We
it.
got the bikes over there into those dudes to snag that objective.
7-inch charge, and they can go right through the wall because of cool shenanigans for the Death Watch.
Yeah, Death Watch shenanigans puts him through the wall. There's only one custody there, so we'll see.
The single dude. It honestly doesn't even matter about that guy because one guy's not going to hold.
Go right here, and then this guy can go.
It's. I think it's safe to say that though Nick has a strong presence up in the top left of around 4 and 5, I think this is where the game might start to slip away from him on secondary.
Maybe. Sure. Yeah, let's see if I can hurt him, or at the very least just tank. Then those guys probably need like a 4-inch charge into that custodian guard squad. I'll roll it and see if it matters.
You are outside.
I rolled an 11, my guy.
So you're it.
I rolled
You're
an
Oof.
11.
You're super in.
So I'm gonna take the -2 and I'm gonna go onto this piece of terrain here.
Okay.
It's a little tricky. Wobbly model. He's right there.
He's right there.
He's right there. We know where he is. But I just want to get as many guys into combat as possible here.
Yeah, room for one more guy. Yeah, that guy right there.
And then 11. Pretty much everyone will get to fight. Yeah, easily everybody will get to fight. Oh wait, sorry, I'm only going 9. But he's still fine. He'll have to pile in. Forget that I'm only going 9 because I took the -2. Get on my way fly. Alright. Go up to about there.
Taking the
nothing
-2 is a long while.
all fell back or did the stuff.
Still gets everybody in there, or pretty close after the pile-in.
Go ahead and fight. Excuse me.
Moving into the fight phase.
Interrupt, so I'll just
Yeah, no CP for Nick to be defensive now, unfortunately.
yeah, he's supposed to be right there. Yeah, we don't get it. That's not. Yeah, it's just wobbly model syndrome. So there we go. So I'll go ahead and fight you with some Terminators. 9 attacks. I ain't got no CP. I'm hitting on. They got the 5 of Film and Pain, so they're hitting on 4s, but I'm rerolling all hits. With Chain Fists.
He's rolling 4s, rerolling all the hits.
It's a good start. I like that.
He's got chain
All the
fists.
hits. Oh, that's big money. Threes to wound, rerolling one. No, yeah, because you're true. Threes, rerolling ones. One failed, so that is a total of 7 at 18.
7 chain fist wounds.
Yeah, pretty spicy here. We'll see if Nick can
They're
pull off
3-ups.
the forever 4-ups. Oh.
So I can kill a guy each swing. So
I literally have nothing.
So 4 go through. So I gotta do this one at a time here.
So can Joel roll hot?
Kill a guy. That's 1 dead.
There goes one.
That's 1 wounded. Kill a guy. 1 dead. Kill a guy, and then that's everything. So 3 dead. Wow.
Oh my god.
That, yeah.
Attacking yet. That's crazy. That is really crazy. All right, I've got.
That's going to be rough because how many models are left on that? You know, that's the thing with
I
custodians.
think he's
They're all
got 2
opposite.
or 3. I mean, not much.
Not more than a Proteus kill team.
Nope.
So 2 at AP 3. Oh, I did a wound. There we go. And then punching you with regular dudes. I've got four regular dudes, which are 3 attacks each because veterans are cool like that. Hitting you on 3s, rerolling everything. Because the Watchmaster wounding on 5s, but you're gonna get 2 ups. It's only AP 1. So 3 2-ups.
All right, rolling a couple
Don't
2-ups
fail, too.
here.
Doesn't matter. So you take another wound.
Yeah, failed one.
4 attacks from the Vanguard vet with a chainsword. Hitting on 3s, rerolling everything. See if I can strip off that last wound. 5s, rerolling 1s. 1, 2 wounds at AP 2. So
Uh-oh.
put you to your invuln. Yep. You're good. So I kill 3 in total. You could go ahead and fight me back. I'll go ahead and pile in first. Just to base this guy so that this guy kind of. Actually,
we're gonna fight here.
I'm gonna wrap him up.
Sure.
Fight back.
We're gonna fight here.
Yep, I'm gonna wrap him up real good.
We're gonna fight here.
For sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the chat. Yep, he's got to move down. He's going to have
Yeah.
to really battle that.
Forgot about that.
Um,
Sorry. I'll go ahead and
Yeah, I was gonna say
pile in.
Joel had charged there, so
Oh.
they almost went out of sequence. Sorry, what were you saying?
I don't even remember. It was not more important than forgetting that you charged.
4 attacks per guy, so chainsword, extra attacks. So this should 4 dudes there, no sergeant in the squad to give extra attacks. So hitting on 3s, nothing here to help the reroll. And
This is just a bunch of chainsword attacks, isn't it?
stellar hit roll there. 5
Yeah.
ones on the wound roll though.
I don't even know if it's a lot of chain swords. He's got a. Yeah, I think it is just chain swords.
That is pretty solid. That's 5. Probably not going to kill him, but I could wound him. 3 ups. Oh, I got him down to 1 wound.
Jeez.
That was close. That was close.
Last guy down to 1.
And those guys get to fight back because that's all my attacks. So 2 hits, 1 wound. Yeah, because I'm toughness 5. Minus 3.
Wait,
I'll
your
take
toughness
it.
5, even though you have a toughness 4, right?
It's you take the majority toughness, which is 5. You gotta take it on a regular biker. I failed to save damage. You wound a biker. He's down to 1 wound.
Stop trying to bait me, chat, into saying my opinion on shrouds.
Yeah, go for it, man. So 8 attacks.
I've heard shrouds are good. Is that right?
I think I don't have enough experience to say what I think about shrouds. I played the 5th.
You can reroll those. So still 1 miss. I got you an extra hit. Now 3 is rerolling 1s. So 1, 2 that you can't reroll. So it's 6. So I gotta do these 1 at a time for invuln saves. Just gonna take it on regular veterans because I have a feel no pain. The feel no pain.
3 damage.
Yeah. So 3 damage. Does he die? He does die. So I've got. Next one. Goes through. 2 damage. He dies as well. Next
No feel,
one.
no pain's going on right now.
Yeah.
Next one. So 2 die. Boom. Boom.
That feel, no pain's been clutch.
It really has. I mean, it really just saved that squad when they got dumped on by the Terminators previously. But
Yeah.
didn't quite help them this time, but, I think it did its deal.
You know, the thing is, to think about grind is it's easy to pick when you think only respective of your army. You know, like I'm custodians, I don't really die. I'm going to take grind. But Joel's Deathwatch army is really durable as well. So it's a real tricky one.
You're good. Yeah, it didn't matter.
It's his army's actually been surprisingly durable in my opinion. Like I've only played against Deathwatch a couple times and never really faced something built like this to really just be able to absorb damage, and it's pretty tough. I mean, custodians are no joke in close combat, and to be able to tank most of their hits is pretty.
I think that's the biggest fallback that custodians are feeling. They have a decent amount of attacks. It's all like D3 damage though, so it's not reliable. So you could roll all 1s for your damage.
Yeah, that's
you could
true.
roll a couple 3s here and there, but I mean, like more often than not, like you really feel it when they don't perform. You know, the consistent things are what you want. So, and a lot of his stuff is D3 damage. So it's like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
the AP is good, and then the volume is not necessarily your model count is so low that like the volume is not what it used to be either.
right.
You know, so
So we're not fighting last anymore, are we, on those Terminators? Because we're not in. Sorry, what? We're not within 3 inches.
If you're within 3 inches of him and I spend the 2 CP, you would.
All right, so we're in.
All right, heading up to top of 3. Nick's turn.
You're gonna get first off. You get 5 in the primary.
And 2 for vital.
And Joel did get Nick down to a 5-point primary, so that's going to hurt him there.
yeah, and then I mean it's the battle of what can he do. Maybe I mean if see here's the thing where it's like Nick's just gonna have a hard time chewing through those you know the kill teams because he's not gonna be able. I don't think he's gonna put out just the volume enough, even if everything 100%ed, to drop the kill teams away. While every model that Nick loses matters a lot, so it's just going to be a body count thing, and I think that Joel's going to be able to cover more of the board for longer.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Joel just has a lot more stuff that he can afford to lose right now and still.
Breaking. So keep doing what you're doing. I was just checking if we're taking a break yet. So I think it'll probably be. I thought they said they wanted to do a break it halfway through, but maybe I'm misremembering. So we can just keep doing what we're doing.
Back of base puts me right there.
So it looks like he's going to have to hover.
Yeah, he has to, else he's going to fly off the board.
You're not really doing anything to the Ares. But I don't want you to get a 15. I would prefer if you got a 5.
Well, keep in mind, if you blast them off of that, I
Yeah.
still hold it. So,
Well, not if I land my guy here.
well,
I can put
flyers
I
can
can
never
put
hold it.
So yeah, responding to Chad, I think the Ares was Gambit. It really was supposed to be there to be a fire magnet, eat a bunch of stuff, and allow the rest of the army to reposition and be able to focus, down these kill teams. But it just hasn't. Joel shot a bunch of bolters into it. Its return damage has not been stellar. So yeah, it's a lot of points to be invested in something that's just not really earning it back at this point.
I think it might have been a better call to like maybe release the Lions somewhere with the Terminators to send them in several directions.
Yeah.
Although then he kind of puts himself at the mercy to never score or grind them down ever. And then Stranglehold's really bad on this mission because you can't flip as easily as you think. You can't shoot. So one thing that's important about data terminals is a big part of Stranglehold requires you to hold 3 and then remove your opponent from 1. Most of the time you're going to be removing your opponent while you're not occupying it because otherwise you occupy it,
Yeah.
But with data terminals, it counters that because you shoot him off, but he still holds it.
Yeah, flyers.
Very tricky.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think about that.
It's pretty, dude. It's a bad one into this.
I mean, there's a couple of spots here that are weak.
If I walk off this, then you can just land your dudes on it.
And also, I can just blast it with missiles, and then it dies, and you lose that unit to do vital, or to do data. Intercept.
Let's think more about this.
Yeah, dropping bombs is a solid idea.
It's just, it's hard. It's hard right now.
It is hard.
All of this can crash into that. With like the Vexel just standing on the top of this objective to give everyone reroll or +1 attack.
Yeah, Nick's discussing a little bit about what to do with this thing, and I mean, Joel's right. If he pops it out from any of the corners, the Terminators can drop all the missiles in it. They're not particularly tanky, so that's just gonna disappear. But holding it there without line of sight on anything, it's not being able to output any damage.
20-inch mode, probably not.
And I'm at a point where I have to hover or I go off the board.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to go off the board at this point. Can you turn around when you're in hover? Yeah. So reorientating your flyer at this point.
Yeah, they're talking about putting the Ares into hover. I don't think there's any downside to that at this point, and Joel's not shot into it. Even if he did, that would be good, because then that's shots that are not going into
Ivan, they did
things on objectives. So
I'm in the puzzle.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of assets, and I'm kind of spraying the board right now.
The whiffs have been,
whip. I spent 2 CP to do nothing.
the whiffs have been out.
Dude, yeah, the whips have been. We have spent probably like a collective like 12 or 16 CP to literally kill like 3 models. It was crazy. I mean, you killed 4 of mine. I killed none of yours. See, we spent like 12 CP collectively to kill maybe 4 models. Nuts. Yeah, both of our armies just have a lot of durability.
They're just building up the charge through here. This guy's
He got that data.
Vexilla is gonna walk over here and just kind of cast a 6-inch bubble over all my stuff.
yeah, Nick moving all his stuff into the building here. Gonna line up for a charge through the wall.
That stays.
Yes, the
There's
psychic.
only 2 dudes left,
There's 3 got Terminators left.
and in this guy.
There's 5 here. This is the 5-man. This is the 2-man. We'll shoot.
And this unit here is also now under strength and is -1 attack. Can only charge closest unit. So I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, that's going to be rough. I think what you're going to just see is just a slow bleed from Nick. I don't want to count him out because it's still going to be a fight. But I think with the secondaries he has and the positioning we are at right now, it's going to be super tough.
yeah, it's going to require some really clever positioning here. And I think just, unfortunately, a positive or a spike in his favor to punch through those Terminators and stop them from really doing damage.
Right.
All right, so we're just gonna fly.
But yeah, the grind him down, unfortunately, is not quite paying off as I think he thought it would. At this
Right.
point, there's been a lot of slap fighting in this game.
I think that he needed, in my opinion, I think that the Alaris would have been better served to drop in some place that would have been a little bit more protective. I think that if they dropped in someplace, maybe not in that big melee, like, I don't know, dropping them where your fight lasts is the best bet. I think if he had gone down low, it would have been rough.
Well, that was a weird one, too, because, that was a gambit to try and get in there and avoid the fight last. Didn't take any damage on with Joel attacking first, and then actually, all things considered, that went well for him. He did
Right.
actually take out a significant portion of that squad, but he didn't clear it,
Right.
like I'm sure he wanted to.
Yeah, and I think that also, I think there's, I think move blocking objective 4, like the chat's saying, is actually a big deal. If he would have done that, it would have stopped him. It would have held him. It would have kept his foothold up there to hold those objectives for another turn or 2 or 3, which matters a lot.
We'll see, man.
All right, so end of movement.
The dice will decide.
Vital or data intercept.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Bomby boy.
Sure.
Bomby boy's being dropped right here to hit all of these things.
So we're dropping some bombs.
I'm starting with
He's bombing objective 2.
Does the bomb hit his own guys, too? Is he going to kill his own last custodian there?
he's dead.
I don't know.
Oh, this guy? Okay, sure.
Next up is Biky boys. Nope. Snipey boys.
Yep. So they take D3 for 1. So a guy takes a wound.
All right. Shooting phase. I have 1 CP.
You do. So not enough to shoot my character.
We're gonna hold. So what we're gonna do here is
Also, I just wanted to comment that I think that assassin in there to do the fight last strat was pretty good. I don't think I've seen that played before, and that's just super smart.
Yeah, it's really good. That's just such a good utility, dude. An aura, most fight lasts are targeted.
Yeah.
So the aura just really, like Joel's doing, you can make it to where it's like, dude, you're super defensive. Like, it makes charging it not an option.
Uh-huh.
You know?
is like wrapped
It pretty much makes any Imperial army able to have a what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out with the chat. Drawing a blank. Blight spawn. A foul blight spawn. That's what it does.
We're gonna shoot the Alaris. Sure. This unit.
Okay. The two guys remaining?
2 man.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we have 2 guys in rapid fire.
Sure. So 6 shots from the.
This is the bolters. We
They
are.
should all be in rapid fire. I mean, it's 12 inch range.
Yeah. So they.
So
2
3 guys
shots
in
each.
rapid
Yeah.
fire.
So 2 shots
So
each.
6 shots.
Okay. I picked up too many dice.
Yeah. So you're good. So hitting on 2s.
2s, rerolling 1s.
Well, actually, they're in the dents, so it'd be hitting on 3.
Response to chat. Bringing the assassin would be legit, but you already have Ezekiel.
This is hammer that's tough.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
So this is 2s, rerolling 1s.
But that's single target, right? That's
Mind
not,
worm. Yeah. But the cool thing is you don't have to invest in a 100-point character to do that because
That's true.
Ezekiel does so many more
Yeah.
things. So just having mind worm is just awesome for
Yeah.
that.
It's just 4 ups. Hey, they're good.
Hey. All right. 3d3 grenades.
Yes, sir. Whoa.
Whoa.
Big money. All right, hitting on 2s, wound on 3, 4s.
2s, rerolling 1s.
And wound on 4s. So 6. Yep. That should get them. AP3. Yeah, that should get them. They're dead.
All right.
The woe on the table was the volume from the grenades from the Alaris Terminators.
To knock 2 shots.
It was 333.
Yep.
Okay.
2s, rerolling 1s. And 4s. Or 3s to strength 5.
Okay, into this squad here. Was that at -1 to hit? I don't know if it matters.
No, it doesn't. It does.
It's not a big deal. It's just 1 wound. So -1. So I would get a 3-up save. So we're fine. Yeah, storm shields are cool like that.
Storm shields.
They are cool like that.
Vexela's grenade launcher into the same group.
Yeah, go for it, man.
3 shots. 1 shot.
Hits. Yeah, it's just -1 to hit. That's wound. 4 up.
Yep. 3.
It kills the guy on 1 wound.
Boom. So chipping away up top there. The fight for Objective 4 continues.
This is not data tethered yet.
So is there
That is correct.
anything that Nick's going to be able to do to stop Joel from getting a 15-point primary here?
Yeah.
We give up
Is it 6? He's got 6, 3, and 2, and 4, I guess, right now, huh?
Yeah. Well, I think the primary is actually the lesser problem here. I think the problem is that Joel took much less. Joel took secondaries that Nick has essentially no control over. All Joel has to do is do something in his turn, and he scores those without any interaction from Nick, really. Minus movement phase blocking, but Nick doesn't have enough units to do it. To where Nick has Stranglehold, which is tough, and then he also has the grind, which now is at a position where as Nick starts to lose stuff, he actually starts to lose the ability to do grind them down. However, he did kill, I believe he's already killed 1 small unit, so let's see what happens.
Yeah,
here.
he did.
So and it's going to be data intercept on data intercept. Those are going to wash, but Joel might be able to do it. And then I think that it goes. I think that the real thing that's going to crush him is the Stranglehold pick here. Vital Intelligence is so bad for Stranglehold.
All right. We're gonna go ahead.
Data terminals, man. Like if someone's on it, you shoot them off. They
Yeah.
still hold it till you get over there and do something about it.
So are you doing the blast version, or are you just gonna do the lance? Okay.
We're doing all the
So it's what, 2 shots for the smaller ones?
Yeah, 2 shots for the smaller ones.
So hitting on 2s. So they both hit. Wounded on 2s. Well, actually, these are it didn't matter. You don't roll 3. So 1 wound. Just murks this guy. He's super dead.
3 shots from the next guy.
Yes.
3 shots.
Hey, big money.
This is 2s and 2s.
2s and 2s. Yes. This is strength like a million or something.
Yeah. So,
So
this is 3 dead
I'm gonna
dice.
take it one at a time with the 4-up invuln on the Vanguard vet.
Oof.
Do I care about this 4-up invuln?
You're gonna hold the objective.
I've got 3 CP. Yeah, but I want to try to keep that squad at a decent strength, I suppose. Actually, do I care? Not really. No, I don't care. So
we just murked 3 boys.
yeah, you just kill 3 guys. So I'll just leave these 3 bikes.
Yeah, big old laser beams down there.
If I had just
I could fail morale though. I think it is worth trying.
He's gonna reroll the Vanguard vet save and at least try the coin toss again.
Ooh.
If I get it.
These coin
The
tosses,
implications are huge, but it's a gamble.
I don't. Do I make the save? I don't.
man. Jeez.
Well, there it is.
Double ones.
Yep.
It was worth a shot though.
The CP reroll on the 4-up. I think those things are like CP rerolls. I think they're only like solid mileage when you're. I mean, game-changing scenarios. of course, but I'm talking about like things that are moderately impactful to the game. I think that when it boils down to it, you really got to be worrisome of, the 4-up. I mean, half the time it just doesn't work and you waste
Yeah,
one CP.
I
That's
mean,
not a reliable.
Doing a
return.
reroll and getting something that's statistically already in your favor, fine. But the 4-up, there you go.
You kill a guy. Whoa, rolling a lot of ones all of a sudden.
Let's go, La Pistolas. Alright. That squad's not scary in melee.
No, they just have bow guns and storm shields. They're just durable.
Okay. Alright, so we've got. So I think we're out of shooting at this point.
Sure.
So what I'm gonna do is -2 for the
So mapping it out. Let's see what's going on here.
4 and 6-inch charge.
You want to go for the Colexus?
As well, yeah, I think so.
Trying to map out a big brain play here, going for the Colexus.
I think he's going to get in there. What he's kind of hoping on is that he can get some attacks there. But I don't think it makes a difference because he's going to be fighting last. So pulling the assassin in might actually also not be so good because it's going to get to fight. It doesn't do great damage, but it's AP 4 and no invulns.
Really
It's
interesting.
only 1 damage. So,
And he does have to spend CP if he wants to do the fight last thing. So
right. I don't know if it matters here.
He can go any number of ways. Because of the lane distance of his movement, he's probably going to go this way. And just come up next to this guy.
Okay, sure.
Trajan's getting in there.
And then the custodians are going into that same giant.
yeah, I think Trajan really had to get in there and start fighting stuff. Nick's
So-
just running out of models.
Let's see here. If Nick can really catch if he can clear a lot off of objective 4, we're looking at a game, at least. I think that the primary, he might have a good chance at stopping that primary lead. But once again, I think the secondary is where he's gonna have the issue.
Yeah.
Unless he can rack up 3 more turns of grind. Stranglehold's gonna score a 0,
I don't know if he's going to be able to do the grind because I think if Joel really gets in a bad position, you can just pull back or hide units and avoid that.
Right. Or like he said, he just knows that like secondary for secondary, if their primary is even, which at Nick's best, it's going to be even. You're going to be looking at a scenario where, okay, they both get 40 or whatever, or 35 on primary. Okay, well then now we're looking at the secondary game, and I mean, let's just point blank say that Stranglehold scores 0. So at what scenario does Engage, Octarius Data, and Data Intercept already not just creep up?
Yeah.
Even if he got 8s on all of them at the 24, and Nick gets Data Intercept for a couple, he's looking at, maybe 1 turn of grind and no strangle, so it's just rough.
Yeah,
So,
it's hard to get back from.
I mean, stopping the 15 is good and all, but he needs to be really considering those secondaries.
Trajan doesn't get extra attack.
Yeah, and the Alaris wouldn't either.
No, they're not getting extra
Yeah,
attack either.
so it's just the 2 guard squads. So you want to do the guard squad first or the Alaris first?
I think we're going to do the Alaris first to open
Joel's
up
got 2 CP. He didn't want to use the fight last. I wonder if he's waiting for an interrupt.
3 boys.
Maybe.
Let's see if he interrupts in here.
Oh wait, actually, if I don't even know, man. Do I just leave the Colexus at this point?
I mean, you hit him on 6s, so more than likely you're not going to kill him.
Screw it. We're gonna put actually.
So do you want to move with your pilot?
Well, that only hit on 6s is close combat too, huh?
You just can only hit that thing ever on 6s. It's ridiculous. And the wording is it's like it's not like it affects your ballistic skill or any of that stuff.
It
It's
only hits on 6s.
This model can only be wounded on 6s or hit on 6s.
Yeah, but when he fights, I just ideally.
And then also keep him like, was your intention to base this guy or not? No. Okay, because he was based, but now he isn't. Okay, that's not your intention. We'll play
So
that.
we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight with all 3 of them, and we're just gonna put them into the whatever those guys are, Terminators.
Let's see what's going on.
What these guys here? Yeah. Okay, sure. And you only get 3 attacks each because of Neural Shroud. Okay. Oh, also, I just realized you couldn't have actually charged the Plexus because of Neural Shroud, so you can't attack it anyways. Neural Shroud only allows you to charge the closest unit, which would have been them.
okay.
So regardless.
Ooh, yeah, we're talking back where
Yeah.
Neural Shroud had gone off on the Alar's Terminators. They can only charge the closest unit
I
anyways.
didn't point it out, so we're not gonna mess with it. It's all good. You're not gonna attack him anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we'll just leave it as it is. All right.
Yeah, they accidentally did the correct thing.
And then, yes. Okay, so 9. Yeah. So 9 4-ups. I don't have a field on paint or anything, so I'll just roll it all together.
9 4-ups.
Wow, my 4-ups have been very swingy today. So we gotta do it one. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter because 6 is enough to kill them regardless of what you roll. So they're dead. There we go.
Drops that squad.
So now we worry about grind here. So in that combat is a unit of Alaris Terminators. There's a unit of Custodian Guard and Trajan Valoris. There is a Calexis Assassin on the Deathwatch side, and there was 2 remnants of 2 kill teams. One just died. There it was, and the interrupt comes down.
Yep.
I think he's gonna fight back with the Chain Fist, right?
See if I get any CP
Yeah.
back. My Warlord Trade has been doing nothing for me this game. Can I please get some? Nope. Wow, why do I even bring this Warlord Trade? You got one back, turn.
Yeah, Nick went in first against the unit of Terminators there that was under strength, and not a bad choice. It got him out, but
Takes
No.
one up for grind, so that's that's there, you know.
Is I think I try to merc these guys, or do I just try to fight? Because I can pile him slightly closer to there. I think that's a half base though. So, do I bother putting any attacks into these guys? Potentially, if I can kill.
So Joel's deliberating over what he's going to have the best chance to affect the greatest, which matters too here because what he's effectively trying to do is see if he can stop grind.
That same squad that I attacked before.
at this point he only needs to kill one unit to cancel it. Yeah.
Right, but one custodian unit is tough,
Yeah, that's true.
depending on what it is. So
What I'm going to be attacking with the most possible damage to those guys.
Oh, what's the damage to their weapon or the strength of their weapon?
Strength 8 and strength.
They're all thunderhammers.
I've got 3 with chain fists and a bunch of the rest are strength 4. But you're not going to be knocking me to 6s. Yeah. So here we go with 9 attacks hitting on 4s, rerolling everything. It's a good thing I'm rerolling everything.
Yeah, needs that reroll right there. Jeez.
those dice cooled all the way off.
Yep.
Because the chapter master rerolls is still on that squad. 3's rerolling 1s because you're a troop. So that's 6 wounds, AP 5.
Pretty respectable.
So 3 ups. So 2 go through.
We are going to. I think I'm going to spend my 1 CP.
There you go. Nick's rerolling that one in 2/5. Only one goes
That's,
through.
so a 3-up is a decent CPU
yeah,
roll
yeah.
opportunity.
That was in his favor.
Both at 0 command points.
And all your dudes just fell around me. Were you gonna circle me?
Maybe. I don't know. I gotta
So that stops because I think there's only 2 guys there. So the potential of that D3 damage from the Chain Fist is big there because that stops the grind. Although I don't know if that's going to be something that's going to stop.
5's rerolling.
I don't know if we'll be able to stop that through the battle round. We'll see.
Takes a wound. And then I'm punching you with regular dudes. Actually, I'll do the chainsword on the Vanguard bed first. Rerolling. They all hit. 5's. 2. 3 ups. And then punching fists. 2, 3, 1, 2. Do I only have the 2 guys? I must have lost some guys then. Okay, I think I only have the 2 regular veterans then. So 6 attacks. Rerolling. And then 5s. So 3 at AP 1, so 2 ups. Oh, he's down to 1 wound. Alright. So didn't quite get grind. Alas.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fight now. We're gonna start with Trajan. We're just gonna take his pile-in.
So wasn't able to stop the grind there with the interrupt.
No.
Valiant effort though.
Yeah, go for it. Hitting on 2s, 1 on 2s.
Yeah, Nick did really well with the saves on that one.
Right.
So 4 wounds. These are 40. Lovely. It's going to be invulns across the board. So I've got 2 veterans left. So I'm going to do
Surprisingly though, Nick has been catching up in some damage he's been doing.
terrible
Yeah.
villain pain 1 at a time here. 3, 1, 5 up.
Joel just cannot make his armor saves.
My terrible.
The invulnerables.
Yeah.
So 1 guy dies so far. So you did 4, right? Yeah. That was it. So I got to do 2 more saves. Oh, okay, my bad. So 1 more goes through on that veteran. 2 5 ups. Can he stay alive? He cannot. So the 2 veterans are dead. Boom. Okay.
And then my consolidate. Keep going.
So let's see who's there. We've got some Alaris. What is it, 1 or 2 Shield Bros and Trajan? So he
I think it's
probably.
just the one shield, bro.
So I think he.
'Cause that's what he's trying to kill for grind, right?
Right. Well, the thing is about grind 2 is the controlling of that objective. Although I don't know if it does matter for Joel, because that's the difference between a more or not for the 15. But I don't think Joel cares that much. I think he's down to just control 3
Yeah.
and get the 10.
Well, like you were saying, I think right now it's the secondaries are going to be more important.
Right. Well, in this one, too, being a domination, there's a big difference between holding 2 and holding 3, regardless of what your opponent holds. The more doesn't matter as much as it does on like a take and hold.
Mm-hmm.
What a mess. Such a this is so many models just sitting there, swinging away. And then 3s. I want to see a lot of 2s here. 2s will make me happy. Okay.
Oof. Lots of ones.
There's 5, it looks like. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then reroll the 1s.
Oh, he rerolls those. Okay.
Translated.
3, 6, 9, 12, 13. At
13.
AP3.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this one at a time, or 2 at a time on storm shields because I have 2 storm shields left. 4 ups. So 1 goes through.
3.
Okay. So grab this.
So these are the attacks.
Yes. Feel no pain. 1 is dead.
Okay.
Next. Saved it. Goes through. For 1. It's down to 1.
See, it's the kind of stuff where you see the custodians for the D3 damage. It just really is bad.
Yeah.
Fail it.
1 damage. See,
Feel no pain.
custodians are doing
That's
awesome,
a-
but they're just
yeah,
doing a bunch of
feels
1
bad right
damage.
there, yeah.
You know?
1 goes through. 2 damage. Let's see if he survives. He's dead. So now it's just Terminators for 3 left. So 2 go through for the damage. First one takes 2 on a Terminator. 2 damage. Down to, and the next one takes 2. So that 1 Terminator.
Oh, that feel no pain, not doing anything.
Nope.
They're going to conduct their consolidate.
Nobody out durables the hut.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's see what's going on here. That was a pretty crazy swing turn. How much it matters in the game, I don't know. Joel's going to be doing all right, holding 6, 3, and 2 almost indefinitely. So even if he does lose that one, it's almost better just to stick in there and keep that going. Maybe move the Calidus in there, or
Yeah.
Calixtus Assassin, and just make everyone fight last again. Just be annoying.
He's got 5 attacks.
Yeah. Speaking of Calidus, here he goes.
Wow, look at him go. 5.
Spinning a bunch of ones.
That's exactly what I was expecting.
All right, Joel, time to take those dice out of the fridge.
I don't think he's in range of the banner.
I must consolidate them.
It was because I killed the other guy.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, so
Okay,
3
so
attacks.
So we're just restart.
So they all hit.
And 3s.
So 1 wound.
Rerolling 1s. We'll trade
So 2 wounds.
AP3.
5 ups. 1 goes through.
D3 damage.
2, 5 ups.
No Terminator dies here.
And 1.
That odd number of 3.
Yeah.
All right, so that brings us to the end of my turn.
So is grind at the end of the battle round?
It is.
Okay. So you've killed.
So that's the thing. That's why it sucks when you go first with grind. In a secondary like that, you got to be aware, because now Joel's going to get to dictate. I mean, he just has to kill 1 unit, so maybe he doubles down hard and just tries to kill the 1 shield bro, or whatever, and then now he counters grind.
Yeah.
Leadership 8.
One shield burrow, he can pull down and try and kill that tank, that light tank from the Terminators up near 6.
Yeah, so then
Ooh, the Terminators ran.
Uh-oh.
so just the guy on 1 wound runs. And then over here, lost 4, leadership 8. I'm fine. Or actually leadership 7, but I'm still fine. So they're good there, which is important, and that's it. So
So I've killed 2 units.
you didn't kill them because there's 1 Terminator left, and you killed them. You killed 2. Yeah, you killed 2.
So 2 for grind.
So we'll go into my turn.
Yep, so at the end of my turn, I score strength.
Do you though? You don't hold more than me, so you do not get strength. No.
Yeah, Strangle's going to 0.
So going into my turn, I'm gonna get 10 in the primary. Yes.
And this is where the game starts to go away.
Yeah.
Going into the 4th and 5th, Nick is not going to ever get better than a 10, and Joel has the primary lead from having 1 more turn of that. Mm-hmm. So even if they mirror, like I said, and then Stranglehold scoring 0, the game can be as valiant or not as we need to, but I think the writing is on the wall here.
So
unless some craziness happens with the, I hate to count anybody out. Unless some craziness can happen with that Ares, maybe that Ares just drops bombs. But
The Ares can 100% just pop off out of nowhere and start wrecking stuff. But
does Joel fall back with? I don't think he can fall back with anything over there.
I don't think that's doable. I think at most, I think I'd try to kill the Terminators. I think that's the move. For this
Let's see what happens.
yeah, I'm really interested to see if Joel's gonna back off a little bit and just keep
Coast.
scoring the exactly
Yeah.
coast and get it with the secondaries and everything else, or if he's gonna be aggressive and try and take out more units. But
So here we go. He's gonna get his third Octarius. That's an 8-point.
yep,
So does that at Nick having 2, 2, 2, and 2 probably, that's going to be looking to the same to cancel out the points. If Joel gets all of it on Octarius data, then that's going to cancel out the data intercept. Essentially, Joel's going to have free data intercept. Engage is going to score somewhere around 8 to 12.
to put that. I'll see if I get it back. Whoa! I got the CP back. Whoa! I'm gonna use guerrilla tactics. Put them back into.
There it is.
guerrilla tactics. Oh yeah, he's gonna drop him.
Down in a later turn.
I thought he had another unit that was in deep strike. Is that incorrect? Thought he said he had intercessors back there.
Oh, well, this turn it's battle round 3, so they're coming in.
They would have to come in, yeah. Oh yeah, he's talking about it now.
Right, so what he's doing is doing that, and then what he's looking for those eliminators with their tiny little footprint to do is just drop anywhere in the corner by objective 1 to finish Octarius data.
Yeah.
Opportunity to get Octarius data right here, and there's a nice little pipeline right here that I can hide next to. Potentially get some heavy cover. Yeah, against your shooting 6-inch move. Yeah, I can. You're not gonna be able to charge me if I can like right there, and then I'll be within 6 inches of the objective to walk onto it next turn.
Alrighty, let's see. Important movement phase.
Yeah, that's pretty clever. It's gonna force Nick to move back.
And then it just continue to walk away with the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then this duder, this little homie, I think he just starts running aggressively this direction towards my. Oh, there's this guy. So, what do I probably just want to shoot that guy to death with missiles because he's an easy kill. He's an easy kill. I could potentially charge him if he has 1 wound left, right? I think I remember putting him down to 1 wound. I didn't think so, but who did? I swore I did. I put him down to 1? I thought maybe not. Maybe not. No, let's maybe I'm wrong. And then okay, so I think he goes to right there. Or in fact, do I? No, I think he just makes it so that you have to work to contest that objective. So he'll just hide, and then. So if that's the case, Terminator line of sight. Currently, I just have to walk a little bit forward, and then I should be able to see him. So I think I do that because that way it leaves all of this uncontested. So I'll hold those for basically the rest of the game. Because I think you're too slow to really get there with anything meaningful. So the Terminators will just walk slightly forward.
Yeah, once again, Joel just kind of articulating kind of how we were playing it out here in the control booth of pulling back a little bit, coasting. I mean, he's going to move up a little and see if we can and deny grind, but we'll see.
They're going to continue to do data intercept the Calexis. We'll just back up. Get the hell out of there. And help me in a later turn. This guy backs out, going 3 inches over here. Maybe he can, if he survives, he can go that direction in a later turn. I think that's that. I don't have a whole lot left right now, so that's what I got to work with. I think what I do is I just smite that last Terminator to death, and then I throw out the 5-up fill-up in on them. Well, yeah, there's 2 of them. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Where's yours?
Yeah, so Joel fell everything back out from this combat. made it open for shooting. Moved the Terminators up a little bit to get line or
Right,
get
because
line of sight.
and that's big too because this for grind, what he wants to do here is make sure that there's no interaction for the remainder of the battle round for Nick to be able to kill anything to score 3. So Nick has his 2, so now he's got to try to equal it out. And then also in the melee there where he's at a disadvantage, he wants to pull them away because what that's going to do is make it to where the shooting is the end of Nick's ability to do anything that Joel doesn't dictate.
Yep.
Happy where he's standing. Well, actually, he'll just back up to put another body on this objective here. And then, I think that's all my movement done. Looking around, I think that's it, yeah. So, we're going to go ahead and do some Psychic. I'm going to smite those Terminators. So he is touching the wall there, so he can see through it. So I need a 5. I got a 7. So
All right.
out of deny range. So
Smite going off.
for the big 3, so 6 up Philippanes. So I kill a guy and put one down to 2. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the 5 up Philippane on my dudes.
Kills the Terminator.
Looks like I missed
And Joel very aggressively rolling his psychic checks.
a 7. So they have the Philippane now. And then
Joel's been doing very well on his psychic checks.
I'm gonna blast
Yeah, right. Not feeling anything.
Yeah, has he
feels
failed
good.
at all this game? Maybe once.
still. So I could do Fury the first year. Is that worth it? I'm rerolling all hits, so no, I don't think it's worth it. So here we go, hitting on 4s, rerolling everything. Oh, and then I guess the bolters will just go into the Terminators.
Wait, so you've got, so this is missiles going into this guy?
Yeah, missiles and storm bolters here, and all the regular bolters going here because they can't see him.
Alright.
Yeah, so
Here's some missiles.
rerolling everything because of the Watchmaster. Okay, there we go. And then wounding on 3s, you're rolling.
So he's probably going to be going down there. What is
Yeah,
there one
he's
custody?
Blasting this one guy here.
Yeah, got to kill him. That's that.
But I would just probably keep it a
And then and then there's one bro on the objective 4, huh? You got 4 Terminators,
I think-
Trajan, and the one guy. Yeah, right there.
right there.
So those are probably the 2 guys you go for.
Devastator Doctrine. So storm bolters.
Or do you just say YOLO and just try to drop the hovering Ares gunship?
Yeah, so I can stay in this.
Good luck.
Right.
I think Assault Doctrine will be most useful if you charge me. So, there we go. This is all going
Oh, and I wonder if Joel has some sneaky play with the Beacon Angelus.
Oh,
If he kills that one guy, he could even actually do some trickiness with the Beacon Angelus if he can get anywhere meaningful. Although I think he's been kind of hanging out on objective 6 anyways. So he's not really in an aggressive enough position to where that would really
Yeah.
make a bunch of a difference. He could set it up, and this is a turn to set it up, though, because 4 and 5, you'd be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, imagine pulling some OBSEC onto that objective 1 and just being like, oh.
rerolling everything.
Might as well take the train.
I'm rolling a whole lot of dice. It's a whole lot of nothing.
That's like a really good
4 2-ups.
2-ups.
Hey, I did a wound. There we go.
Storm bolters pull a wound.
The Watchmaster's Guardian Sphere for the extra AP shot going in there. 2 hits. 1 wound at AP 2. So 4 up.
Yours is AP2.
Yes.
Why is my Guardian Spear only AP1? What the hell?
It's because I have special issue ammunition. So I'm choosing the extra AP shot. But I don't care.
Whole bunch of custodes.
Actually, I just realized I
Joel's
have one
Custode Spear is more Custodes than the Custode Spear.
Right.
2 hits. Didn't even matter. Yeah, that's it. Man, doing an action here. So yeah, I think like my damage dealing.
Wow, whole lot of nothing.
Pass. I think this is
So-
where the really started to rock me.
All he had to do was kill that one Custode down there, and nope.
Does grind matter here?
I mean, it's going to get him points. I don't think it's going to matter.
Me not declaring my doctrine there was not great. I mean, I could have just said Devastator, but I didn't say it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the librarian might now need to be in a more aggressive place. He's not really worried about much shooting. The Alaris are pretty scary, and there's one palace that's probably never going to move off that objective.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like because if it does, it's a trade.
Yep.
So, but having the mortals that he can drop.
Well, he did it already. He smoked and killed a Terminator, so.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The psychic checks have been great. He
Is
did
there
that,
a
killed
correct? Is there a correct tense for the word smite?
Because I said
Smite,
smote.
Did he smeet?
He smidgened that Terminator right off the
yeah.
board.
So we're going into battle round 4.
Yes, sir. All right.
Ooh, that's a gap there.
This is a close game, man.
Yeah, I think the early game 5 to 10 difference. I think they're both going to hold 3.
All of this is coming down.
How so?
I'm gonna fly this guy to here to turn this off.
Interesting.
I'm gonna move the custodian over here to fight this guy.
Sure.
So all of that's coming down. And I guess the Vexilla, we just throw away the aura, and the Vexilla becomes my vital intelligence. We have to. Do we believe deep in our soul that one custodian, 2 Terminators, and Trajan can fight all that? I don't think so.
Dude, I don't know if you make the Vexilla do data intercept because he's not going to hold that objective.
I mean, it might not be a terrible idea just to sit there and secure data intercept with one of those guys, with one of those units.
I also like that Joel's helping Nick.
If he's moving over here,
You got to be careful because that's part of Joel's play, though. He Jedi mind tricks you into doing things you don't want to do. He's like, well, what you kind of want to do is this, and you're like, oh yeah, and then you're like, wait, but you know,
maybe. I don't know. It's an option.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start doing some movements.
wow, it is a close game. It's a 1-point game. Although this is the top, so keep in mind this is one round before Joel gets to, or a half a round before Joel gets to score.
Yep.
So
I think we call this. I think we just keep calling it hover because it's technically command base. Sure. So we're just gonna say we can't change it. Okay.
I think this down here was kind of important. I was pretty much betting that those Terminators and all the missiles and everything else were going to kill that one Custodian. That would leave this completely open. But nope.
right.
And now there's a non-zero chance that between the Ares and the Custodian, they're going to kill the rest of the stuff on that objective and clear Joel off of it.
Yeah.
Because it's grind. It's grind points. That's true. So we're gonna go ahead.
This is interesting. Yeah, because these last two these last two battle rounds are actually going to be a little bit more impactful. Nick is going to be able to close some gap, and Joel's feeling the durability issue here, where there's going to be some issue with the rest of the what's going on. So.
So I need to move and just. I know it can't hold this objective, but I've got data time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fly this guy and just park him on top of it for a big. Please don't come here.
Nice, that's a good catch because he almost moved out of being able to stop the infiltrators from coming in. Well, it is hovering, so they could just charge. It can
Yeah.
still be a charge
Yeah.
anchor. But if they charge, actually, it doesn't matter because they don't get the octopus data that they want because they're charging. So he won't be
Wait,
able
no,
to.
nobody can go down there, right? He can't deploy any more reserves. It's turn 4.
He used guerrilla tactics, so there's one unit
Oh.
still up there. So he could drop and do the octopus data, which is actually probably what he does, moreover than taking away the objective.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be what 4 points to
Or-
get the
yeah.
last quarter.
Well, it is 5 points though if he stops that objective back there. It depends on what happens this turn.
I mean, this is we're the Terminators are going to come and fight you because that's what Terminators do.
Yeah.
Throw their lives away and give away my grind points.
Yeah, man.
Yes, Trajan is going to do the same. These guys go. I'm pretty sure the whole unit, but we need the production. I could be wrong. If I go here, then this charge is actually relatively long. That's a 6 or 7, depending on what we measure when we get there. I think I want to fight you.
Every model of them. So they're not going to cheat.
So I think I just want to fight you super duper fucking hard here.
Okay.
So these guys are all going to move there.
So Nick's getting pretty aggressive here. Still has the Vexilla, so he's in decent deep strike denial.
So you would have gotten 2, 3. So you're up to 7.
So he put the Eliminators back in reserve, right?
Right,
was
yeah,
with
that was
guerrilla
last turn.
tactics?
Mhm.
It's not going to be a great charge.
So he can still drop them and then fire and move.
I don't think when you come in from reserves you can ever move again.
For any reason? Even in the
For
shooting
any
phase?
reason. I don't think so.
Huh.
For them, yeah, you're in. It would be 6, becomes an 8. All right, and you were subtracting 2 from the move. Yeah, that was okay. Okay, so for sure.
TTs, one TTs.
8-inch charge.
And then because we like losing the game,
Yeah, Nick's banking a lot on 8-inch charge there.
See, the Vexilla doing data intercept I think is going to get canceled.
Why is that?
Because I believe the stipulation for data intercept is, or does he just need to complete the action? Because it depends on if he has to control the objective marker. Let's see, because what I'm wondering is if those intercessors can come up and snag that objective and cancel his data intercept.
if I kill this guy becomes the closest model.
Let's look at the objective real quick there.
Honestly, like I think I may have just I don't know. I might have to walk back to movement of the custodians. I haven't rolled any advanced dice or anything. Because I mean
That's tricky because like
you move them back forward in 4 inches.
I mean
Actions complete at the end of your next command phase, so long as
So-
forming it is still in range.
Of the same objective. So he can do it with that guy. He just doesn't have to. So he has to have controlled it to initiate the objective, and then it completes so long as he's within range of the marker.
Right.
Okay. Cool. So that's good. That's good. The Vexilla is a good call there then.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and because of my error,
But also by doing that, it does turn off his aura.
because of my error, we're gonna have to change. We're gonna have to do some things and potentially some stuff. Okay. Now,
I think he's recognizing that those Marines are up there. I
Yeah.
don't think he realized that. I was like, what are you doing?
we're gonna start by just bombing the area this guy left. So his base is right here. We're just gonna drop our bomb right where he left from. Okay. So vital
so see if you can get that bike on a 4+.
plus. Yep. Wounds.
Jeez.
Dang.
So that takes down this guy as well.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, I mean, he
Because Joel's on a 0.
And this guy goes. How far does this Terminator?
So that makes
5 inches.
ooh,
that could be a game changer right there.
yeah.
So we're gonna start by putting the palace into the Terminator.
So right now Nick is, and if data intercept completes, that's for 1, 2, 3, 4. No, because Joel's definitely gonna react, obviously, but
Yeah, he's dead. That's not worth the CP.
All right, that makes me feel a little bit better. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna fire everything from Choco Ship into your boys downtown.
Sure. I think I'm gonna spend my 1 CP for transhuman.
transhumaning, obviously.
That's the most useful use of that 1 CP because I want to try to.
Now Joel completely has no presence in the lower portion, although I think the
Yeah.
palace dies. I think touching it was cool, but what does that accomplish in the long haul?
Well, he's gambling that those Terminators are going to make their charge.
Save for being in cover.
Right.
So I have 6 up save. Nope. One guy dies.
Yeah, because he's could be giving a charge anchor here to take the objective, but he's also
But down here?
yeah. Oh, so he needs his Terminators to get there, so
Yeah,
they
so
can't.
Nick
yeah,
is
yeah.
betting that they're going to go in there, tie them up, and then they're going to be stuck.
Yep.
But you're right. If they fail this charge with 8-inch charge and no rerolls, so that's tough. Then these guys can move down, destroy that, take this.
It could have mattered. That's the nature of transhuman. Is sometimes it does stuff, sometimes it doesn't.
All right. All the pistols.
All of a sudden, I don't like this for Joel.
He didn't really lose that many of the guys up there, though.
Shots hitting on 6.
No, not up. Those guys I don't think matter because the real issue right now is going into his first turn, he got zeroed on a primary. What that in essence does is erase all of the primary lead he had. Because he had 2 5s to 10
Yeah.
in the first 2 rounds. And I believe in 2 and 3. So going into 4, he's going to get zeroed here and then completely even the primary, which now makes it an interesting game so long as Nick can stop. If he can stop Octarius data or just cruise the primary, 15 and then 15.
Yeah.
He can make up a grind deficit with primary.
He's dead. Oh my goodness.
Alexis is dead.
At this point, I don't think he's actually that relevant.
Well, he's grind.
Oh, that's true.
That guy did a lot. So yeah, grind is going to start coming back. Stranglehold might actually. So if Nick can creep 3 to 6 points out of each of those and get a 15 swing, now we have a game all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Where are we charging first?
So we're gonna declare the Terminators first. They've got like a 4 plus 2 or 3 plus 2.
So it would be a 3 minus 2, so a 5. Yeah, so we need a 5-inch charge. We're in with a 9.
So they're stuck.
Made
So
it.
all of a sudden now that's fine. Now, did the guy that died that was over there, was that the librarian or was it the watchmaster? I think it was the watchmaster, huh?
The guy that died?
Yeah, there was a singular model kind of in between 1 and 4.
That was a Terminator. That was just a remainder
Oh,
of the
just a one
kill team,
single
yeah.
Terminator. Okay. So Joel still has the beacon. He still has the eliminators.
And
Oh,
look at
man.
that. They all made it.
This could be.
This could be bad news for Joel.
Yeah, this could actually be bad news because if he loses that unit, what does he
There's
have
nothing left on the board, yeah. He's got a couple characters, and that's it.
That's the nature of fluffing with That's the nature of fluffing with like Joel whiffed with all those hammers, you know, and didn't do enough meaningful damage.
Yeah.
That sucks.
4-inch charge normally. Yeah, and then you'd have to go up.
I didn't reroll. I didn't reroll.
You want to reroll that? Yeah, I'm gonna reroll. Okay, reroll that. You're in with a 9. There you go.
So Trajan is now standing right Meander way. Get in there, boy. All right.
Interesting game now.
Okay. So that's the charge phase.
Man.
I have 0.
Okay.
We both have 0.
So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with the Alaris. Are they still mind wormed or whatever for -1 attack?
No.
Okay. So this is
8 attacks. Hitting on 2s.
Yep.
Rerolling. And then 2 on 2s rerolling.
3. So that is 3, 6, 7, 8.
So, I've got. So I think I'm going to actually take on the Terminators first just because I need to keep data intercept going. So I need the squad to survive here. So back on this guy. So 5 ups on the Terminators. So 2 go through, 1 at a time for the fill up aim. So 2 damage. I feels both. Next one. 3. I'll probably.
All of a sudden, Mr. Eric, I think this might slip away from
Yeah.
Joel. I like it when that happens. When I'm super set that I'm like, this is what's definitely going to happen. And then I'm like, oh my gosh.
Saves have been awful this game.
I will agree with Joel there. He has not passed
Yeah.
any saves.
Nah, it's awful.
He is dead. 1 Terminator left.
You know what I think I'd love to see too? One thing that would be cool. I think that I really like it when both people use the same dice.
Same dice?
Same exact dice. Yep. Just put one set of like 30. They both just use the same ones.
He's dead. And then the last save. Hey, I made
Then
it.
nobody can get upset that their specific dice got cold because it was the same dice that you used the same dice. I think that's actually one of those things. I personally, if my dice are terrible and my opponent's rolling hot, I just get the salt comes.
Should we do it like baseball where we use brand new dice every time? Every time you roll?
That'd be wasteful. I'm thinking of the environment here. Chat. Now that the game has evolved here, I'm asking you guys. Let's get some votes. Who's going to win this game? We had a lot of people saying that the watch we're going to take it in the early, right?
Yeah, I think by turn 3, pretty much everyone was saying Watch had it. But what do you think now?
Some real elite knowledge right there. Oh, the golden stream. Nobody can resist the golden. No one can withstand the golden
It
stream.
is too powerful.
Alright, next up, the custodians are. It's actually a pretty clever model pool.
Rough here. Okay.
You get like 3 or maybe.
I think you can only get 3 in because he can pile in,
So he can go 3 inches, so he can come all the way to here.
and then I think the other 2 can fight.
So I think really Nick has had an exceptional round here in 4 and has really caught up. I think for
it's gonna be 3 and
Joel to spin this around, he's going to have to do exactly the same. He's going to have to make the big brain plays. He's going to have to make golden dice rolls. He's going to have to stop failing his armor saves.
Right. So I think he's capable of those. My question is, the question of resource. What is Joel has a lot of his less than optimal stuff left. He's got like 5 Marines up in the top. He's got
Yeah.
3 Eliminators dropping down, and then 1 Proteus team left with his characters. So,
But
mean-
he also has. He only has to deal with Nick for 1 more turn.
right.
So, and then he scores last on turn 5. So with some clever positioning and the stuff that's up on points 4 and 5, it's a model each.
Right.
So maybe and on 2, there's 1 model on 2, 4, and 5, and 1.
And
But I
3.
mean it's. Oh, and 3, yeah. Everything is just
Technically,
a
Nick
single
just has
model.
1 model on every single one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, throw a smite down, you know. So we'll see. Ooh, all right. We got one guy still thinking that the watch still hold it down.
No, Nick went first, so Joel's gonna. Joel with his Death Watch are gonna finish up round 5.
I think the big issue here is the 0 that's coming up.
Yeah, that is huge. It's a big deal.
I think Joel got a little too confident in what he was holding.
But there's a non-zero chance that he can. But I was gonna say non-zero chance he can get Nick on a 0 for his on turn 5, since there's a single model in each one.
Right.
But that's a gamble.
Well, so he still holds 1, so he's got a touch objective 1. He's got to fly. I think he could fly over with the librarian and tag 3, come up and touch 5, but he still is not going to be able to get both. Maybe with some crafty play with the Beacon Angelus, although I don't think he can be within 9. With some crafty play on the Beacon Angelus is what I think is what we're about to see.
and that doesn't cost any CP to use, right? That's a relic.
Right, just once per game.
So he can teleport
You
somebody
can
over.
teleport,
Okay.
pull the Terminator unit,
Who has
stretch
it?
them.
The Watchmaster?
librarian.
Librarian.
He's got Stranglehold for 9? Am I behind? I must have been just. Oh, because it's just the end of his turn. That's right. Not battle round.
Yeah.
So I'm way behind. Yep. A 0 on primary.
Big oof.
All of a sudden, this game is complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, he was going to tangle foot those guys up there.
Yeah.
Full rerolls to the Watchmaster at this point, and then just give the reroll ones to wound against. I think I give both buffs to the. Well, actually, the other buff have to go on them because the Watchmaster can give himself, but these guys can't. So they have reroll ones to wound against that. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that with Tanglefoot. Okay, cool. So I mean, you can.
So the intercessors all of a sudden are D6
They're
less
real
movement?
slow.
Okay. I mean, I don't really have anything else to do in the command. All right. Yeah. My doctrine this turn will be tactical, I guess. Oh, good. It's only mine. So one. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
It's a gambit. Wait, well, you were at 16. No, I didn't add mine last turn, and I didn't spend it. I guarantee.
No, you rerolled the charge on Trajan.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, my
He
bad.
rolled a 4 and then he rerolled it. So you couldn't do that anyway.
You're right. I can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
You're fine. No, it's all good. You're fine. So I'm just gonna walk over.
Joel has a memory like a steel trap.
here and stop your data intercept.
Well, it doesn't stop data intercept.
Yes, it does. You have to control the objective to do data intercept.
Let's check.
I will double check the book right now.
So they're actually talking about what we
just
talked
talked
about.
about.
Yeah.
Performance action within range of objective marker and no enemy units within range of the
Yeah, so I started the thing. All those conditions were met. So therefore, you don't turn off my.
No, it completes at the end of the next command
Yes,
phase.
but
So long as
the condition to start it is what matters. We can go get a ruling on this if we want, but this is.
Yeah.
Oh, they might be coming back here.
They're not. It's Nick's about to explain it. Joel was thinking the same thing I was thinking too. He was thinking data intercept fails if you just touch it, but it doesn't actually. More intricacy to this.
Why would it not?
Why does it not fail?
Yeah.
Because the conditions to control the objective marker are only there when you start the action. It says a unit may start to perform this action if it's within range and there are no enemy. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it completes at your next command phase, so long as you're still within range.
Oh,
of the
okay.
next-
So the trigger conditions are already met, and so the only secondary condition for completion is to be there.
stay
Still.
there, yeah.
Okay.
But you still don't. You still lose a point there. But you
Yeah.
can still complete intercepting that data.
Right.
So how does this thing
unless he somehow kills him.
Yep, we knew the Beacon Angelus. That's what I was thinking, and I think he might be able to stretch across 2 and 3. So if he holds 2, so then what he would have to do is get onto objective 1.
That guy would be about here and 9.
Yeah, so there's your triangle right there.
I think what he does here.
I'm gonna go for a 9-inch charge there, contest that, and boom.
Yep, see if he strings across there. That's what I would have done.
He's got to make a 9-inch charge in there. I mean,
He has a CP. You keep that 1
That's-
CP for that.
Oh, your primary.
Oh yeah, I would get.
that only gives you a 48% chance to make it.
I think I think a rerollable 9 is decent. It's like a 56. It's a coin toss, I think.
Yeah.
So then here we go. Yep, and I think he's going to drop there an Octarius, and that aircraft can never control that objective. So what ends up happening is that now the
You always measure the base plus 1.
and now the aircraft is going to in essence have to kill them or risk Joel setting up that one next turn.
Yep.
So
Also, my base is about to snap again, so I'm going to move this thing. Okay? We know where it is. I'm going to mark it with a die, but my base is going to snap if I leave it here.
And then the Watchmaster will go ahead and do data intercept,
Okey doke.
just because I don't really have any other great options for that.
And you have 1 CP.
I have 1 CP, yes. So probably just gonna reroll that.
so now he's going to get a 3 for engage here.
If I make that 9 charge,
He has all the quarters.
Yep.
He's going to get, ideally now, what's going to happen is, so he stops 5, so Nick controls 4, 1, 3, and 2. He's going to try to drop him off of 3 and 2 for this turn, which leaves Nick to a 5. Is it manageable?
It's
Less than desirable,
yeah.
but definitely manageable.
throw the 5 up, feel no pain onto the unit that remains. And then I think I would be smiting Trajan, so that's not really worth it.
Hey, Steven, can you come in here? I just want to ask him because I don't want to end up winning the game. Because
Yeah, figure out the ruling on data. So I think
you can finish what
you might be right. But yeah, that's something interesting to keep in mind. So let's think here.
So data intercept. All right, I start data intercept on my turn. All right, he touches this objective. Does that turn off data intercept, or is it because I?
intercept says, so data intercept, it's different because it's a different battle run. To start the action,
No.
you need to control it, no enemy, blah, blah, blah. But then it says this action completes so long as you're just within range of these guys.
Okay.
So what it does, you take this away from them.
Okay.
But I just don't score for it.
Yeah, but you're still completed.
That's what I figured.
So I think I'll then do Neural Shroud onto the guard squad just in case they charge into something. That goes off.
All right.
Yeah.
So they're minus one attack.
Deny it. Yeah, because I don't think Smite's gonna do anything into Trajan. I'm not gonna kill him by the end of this game. And then I think I just shoot, try to pick off that one guy there. I think. With some bolters. Let's do that. I don't have a whole lot left to work with. Your saves are about what I was expecting. The saves get me, where it's like I can hit you with lots of attacks, but they don't do anything. It's such a great save.
The saves have been
Yeah.
obscene.
So here we go with the attacks here. So they're gave the reroll to the Watchmaster.
So where are these? This is going into the custodians.
Yes, and I'm doing the extra AP shots here. So I'm AP 2, rerolling the 1s. So 1 wound, so 1 3 up.
1 3 up. Good.
There we go. And then a pistol. I'll do special ammo for extra range, so it's in range hits. It wounds AP 1. Not that you care. Okay. And then that's that. He's doing an action, so that will be the end of my going into the charge phase. Let's see if I can make a 9-inch charge.
Yep. You got a CP.
Yeah.
That's not gonna do it. We'll throw
Wow.
those, put those.
Ugh.
Dice has been mean to me today. Very mean. 9. Hey, I did it.
Hey. All right.
Hey, let's go.
Needed that extra CP for that 9-inch charge, but he made it. Also, I don't know that he fired with the eliminators down there.
Because that holds me to a 10 or a 10, doesn't it?
To a 5, because you only hold these 2.
Oh wow, you're right. Holy
Yeah, because this is contested and you didn't get the data term on it. It's been wild. It's been a big swing. I think you're up by 5 in the primary right now. I think so. Because you shut me down this turn, so I lost my lead. And so yeah, so here I'll attack you, see if I can kill him.
Are these just punchy fists?
I have 1 chainsword.
Oh, hey, what do you know? And we are in assault doctrine.
I'm just gonna wrap you up.
This is battle round 4, right?
Yeah.
So you have to move out of assault doctrine.
So So yeah, he did need that CP. Made his 9-inch charge after
Yep.
reroll and got on in
Yep.
there. It's
So now he straddles those two. So now all of a sudden he controls 1, 2, 3, 4.
which
So-
is gonna put Nick at a 5.
Right.
One thing I didn't, I don't know if I missed it or something, but I don't know. I don't think these guys. Oops. I don't think these guys shot.
They're not because they're performing.
Oh, they're doing
Yeah,
octopus
for
data.
octopus
Yeah,
data, yeah,
okay.
so they don't wanna
there you
shoot.
go.
Kind of the name of the game. It's the most custodes thing.
Yeah, you just.
Didn't I buy like all the Terminators from you?
Yeah, but also like my saves were never as good as yours, if you can tell. So 5 wounds, 2 ups.
All right, these are 5 punches for 2 ups. We
I
take
did 1 wound. Lovely. That's great. And then you can fight me back.
Custodes just not dying. This is the most stereotypical Custodes game you can possibly
It's
have.
just a lot of saves to. All right, so 2 hits, 3 wound, 2 wounds, 4 up invulns, 4 up invuln, and I haven't
First
made
one.
any saves hardly.
Dead
so
dude.
1 dead, it's just 1 dead. So you're still wrapped in these.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm rolling a whole lot of dice to do a whole lot of nothing. All right, so that's that. That's all I got. That's the end of my turn. So I'm gonna score engage for 4
Yep.
or 3. Sorry.
4 quarters.
Yeah, so I'm up to 9 there.
This is gonna be a tight ass.
Yeah, so Joel did end up getting all the table quarters, so he'll get 3 for engage.
3 for engage. He's going to complete his Octarius for 12.
Yeah, right.
Complete, yeah, for 12.
Data intercept, bring you up to 9.
This is gonna be really close.
Would you have gotten grind that round? I think so.
Yeah, I think
That
so.
didn't kill anything, so you're up to 6 for grind.
And then now I just gotta grind this one last turn.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what you can do, my friend.
Gotta grind here.
Gotta
I
grind.
have no reason to score anything. I have no reason to attempt to score primary.
Yeah, top of 5 now. Primary's done for Nick, so he's just gonna go and try and deny as many points as possible for Joel.
So what's in this building here? Nothing? Nothing's in there?
What?
Nothing's in there?
No.
Alright, so the Alaris are gonna walk up into your building.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they're just gonna walk straight onto the objective. They're gonna advance. Let me get in there.
So you're a little over 13 inches
I'm
away.
not trying to get to you.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to take your
Yeah,
objective.
for sure.
Yeah, so we're just gonna walk up and touch those 2 Alaris there to turn off that objective for you. Because I don't think you have enough bodies that can get to that point.
No, probably not.
So that turns off that. Trajan, I don't think I trust just this guy's shooting. Does he have like a invuln or anything?
No.
There's no invuln. Sorry, man, I've been dying.
The 4 ups, so save. Or tough 4 save.
So he gets no save. I guess I know Trajan when that is to get you back up. Trajan comes to here.
And then maybe send these guys over
Yeah,
here.
so they're going back.
Yeah, so then I can't steal that.
Yeah, so respond to chat. Let's take a look at the secondaries for Nick.
Lock it up.
Yeah, so they're all coming to here.
Data intercept. Let's see. Progressive. So no, he does not have any endgame.
Alright. And then that lone custodian and the Vexilla are going to
Try to kill those guys.
And then the Ares gunship has to kill these 3
Sure.
boys.
All right. So you want to roll for the bomb?
Yeah, so we're just gonna move here and then bomb from there.
Yep.
Yeah, so Ares is going to fire into those guys, drop the bomb, do all its stuff. If you can't kill them, they're going to easily walk onto that objective.
I don't think I have any CP because I spent it to reroll. Actually, I could have rolled for my warlord trait to see if I got the CP back. No, I don't have any CP.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and move into the shooting phase.
All right, let's do it. So let's see if you can kill those guys.
Yeah, I think Joel's got an okay chance at getting 10 on round 5, but
Alright, we're firing the 8 shots from the bursty.
I think that's it.
Got like camo cloaks in coverage.
Yeah, they have almost
I wonder if they factored in if the score right now reflects
Both hit.
Octarius.
And then 2 wound.
1 wound.
God.
So minus 2
If they just put it in right now, even though in the battle,
my CP.
you know?
Okay, sure.
I'm curious. Because if that's a big difference. If Joel's going to take 12 more points out.
2 down.
Yeah.
Can I get some saves, please?
And then D3 shots from the Mega Baby Boy for 3. 2s.
Sorry, 2
Yeah, no worries.
Can I get, please, give me some 5 ups. I hardly made any 5 ups this whole game. Can I get some 5 ups? Can I miss the board entirely? Okay.
Yep, responding to chat. Let's check out Joel's secondaries.
The dice have completely
They have abandoned me.
Alright, 2 shots from
Rolling data intercept as well. Engage on all fronts. And then Octarius data. So that is an end game objective. So he will be scoring that here at the end of round 5.
There we go. So we're charging that guy. Go ahead. Charging him with the Vexilla. It looks like a 5 or so. He's in. And then we're charging with the Custodian. That's a longer charge.
That's probably
like
a 6 or a 5. It's a 6.
It's a 6. All right, so we're charging there.
Did you fail 1 charge this game?
No, I have not failed a single charge.
You failed 1 with Trade Gem and then rerolled and made it.
So I haven't
My
failed a single
goodness.
charge
Oh, the rolls.
all game. It's rough.
All right. So let's roll for it. I've got no command. Wait, do I?
I thought you should have. I thought you should have one.
Okay, maybe I do. I mean, I'm gonna spend if I do have
Yeah,
it.
you
I'm gonna spend
should
it.
have one CP.
I'm gonna spend it for the transhuman.
All right, so I got 4 attacks because of the banner.
Does he have a knife?
No, I'm fighting with the Custodian.
Oh,
And the
okay.
banner does have a knife.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna triple check that for you.
Sure. Yeah, because if I can survive here with 2 guys, well, actually, nah, I don't think it matters because like I need to survive with all the guys
Vexilla does in fact have
to
a knife.
steal the objective. Yeah, so I don't think it actually really matters.
Yeah. 4 attacks. And then 3s. 4 wounds, AP3.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, 3 wounds. That was a 3.
Then you were rolling 4 ups to wound.
Yeah, so we had a little conversation in here just now about
My goodness.
whether or not, even though Octarius data is an end game thing, whether or not they've been inputting it into the score sheet to reflect on the scoreboard here. So I'm not all the way sure on that.
Vexilla,
All right, he probably gets what 4 attacks.
5 attacks because of his own banner.
Cool.
2s,
I'll hit.
4s.
Wow. I did transhuman 3 times. It didn't matter a single time. Not a single time. And he's dead. Wow.
Oof.
That's rough.
Yeah. We've been putting it in throughout the game. It should be a 12. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we did get information from the board that they are putting Octarius data in right now. So nothing that they have right now will be. There's no surprise points at the end of the game. Is what I'm trying to say.
No way to contest any of these objectives. I mean, I guess I could make a play with this guy.
Yeah.
I could potentially
They need to update the turn to 5 as well.
charge Trajan.
That's okay. We know it's turn 5.
Objective and steal it. I could make that play.
Is he OBSEC?
No, but that's not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but it would be just be contested.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
So we get a 0 here.
Well, actually, let's see here.
Oh, wait, no,
Actually,
just
it does
one.
matter. Let's see if I can kill that guy because that will matter. So actually, he gets to fight first technically.
Yeah.
No, it's your turn, so I get to fight first.
And responding to chat, yeah, he did max out Octarius.
Who wounds? And then the regular guys. Wow. 2. Double 1. Double 1. Hey, I did a wound. He's down to 1. Or was he?
No, he had 2. So he's down to 1.
Wait, right back.
Yes. All right, so here's 3 attacks.
Hits.
And 3 wounds.
3 goodness. 4 ups. 2 go through. First one.
First one kills the dude. Oh, no.
No, nobody's wounded. Dead guys. Okay. So then at the start of the so essentially what I'll do, so pull these 2. So then at the start
I
of
only
the turn.
killed 1 guy.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. So then what I'm gonna do here is I get data terminal at the start of the turn there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump past
Man, this is gonna be super close.
string out across, so I'm holding both, and as long as it's contested, I don't lose it.
So you will get a 5.
So I will get a 5-point primary turn. So there we go. And that's the best I can do.
Man,
So
Man, what a game. Holy smokes.
yeah, that was a bit of a rough one for Joel there. Lost the guys here, lost the guys here, lost the guys here. Oh wait, no, didn't lose all the guys down here, but lost enough. Lost guys up here.
9 for data, 9 for grind. Yep. I'm at 6 for data, 9 for. Oh, I would get engaged for. No, I can't get engaged. I only have 2 units left.
Yeah.
I can't get engaged, so that's it.
So what's the final of
I have no
Yeah, not good score on engage on that last one, but he did pretty good for most of the game.
12, 9, 6.
They are tallying up the final score.
Woo, what a game.
Jeez.
Well, actually, wait. I completed data intercept for 2. Actually, I think in that last round. So because he was doing it, and he was sitting on that objective.
Yeah, so
actually,
Yeah, I'll pump the table mic a little bit here.
Yeah, so
that brings me
it's going to be
up
a.
to 8. So
Dang, the Death Watch lose. That's 0.
you out primary me a little bit.
Look at the difference. That 0 primary is what
It killed
him.
it. Yeah.
And I think that the difference was him sacrificing objective 3 in order to. Oh, dude.
I think there's really good play on both players' parts.
Dude.
I'm thinking Joel might be just wishing he'd been able to make a single armor save through this entire game.
Right. Yeah, and the hammer's doing nothing to those guys up there.
Yeah, that was
That was rough. But I mean, the thing is, you can't blame any games on dice, I believe. You roll cold, you roll hot. Stuff needs to happen, but it tends to even out a lot of games. And we're playing a dice game. I think it comes down to decisions, and I think the big difference was he would have never lost objective 3, would have never been zeroed on primary, and would have never given Nick a 10 for objective 3, and that's the victory.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Well, maybe it's not the victory because the 4 points on Octarius or the 5 points on primary. I don't know if it was a 10-point swing. That's the difference. Because Nick didn't get a 15, but he did zero him out.
Yeah, so it's an effective 15-point swing.
So they're.
What are they doing now?
So this is the charge to just see if he can kill that one Alaris Terminator. What happens?
Maybe. Nope. Oh. Oof. Yeah.
Because that was actually the game. That was actually the game for 2 points.
Because if that would have been a difference of 5 points.
Yeah.
It was worth a shot.
Yeah, that would have swung the game.
Man,
It would have been 5
What a
extra
close
points.
game.
You would have won by 2. Unbelievable.
yeah, I think that
Unbelievably
choice
close
to
game right
I
there.
think that choice to do the choice to do that guerrilla tactics is what I think it really came down to.
You think that was a bad choice?
I do. I think what ended up happening was he got a little short-sighted because the implications of going 2 turns forward and holding on to more of the primary rather than trying to get that last little bit of secondary, he overestimated
Yeah.
his ability to hold on to the board. you know?
Okay. No, I agree.
And then he wouldn't have had to flex down there. He could have played a little bit differently. He probably could have contested 5 because he wouldn't have to. So
Yep. All right, let's get the guys in here and do some interview stuff. Incredibly close game. Man. There, turn off the table mic now. All right, guys. Wow, that was
What a game.
what a roller coaster ride of emotions right there.
So
I
we'll let
mean,
you guys know. We asked the chat about the end of battle round 2. We're like, who's gonna win this? And they're like, dude, the Custodes are dead in the water.
Yeah.
Like this is game over, dude. And then we asked them going at the end of battle round 4, and it was like, oh gosh, the Death Watch might not be able to come back here. Interesting game. So the first questions I'll ask, we'll start off with Joel, and then we'll move to Nick. I mean, kind of obvious, but how did it pan out? Like, what did you think was going to be the main factors here? When you know, we know what you thought was going to be the main factors going into the mission. How accurately did your predictions work out? What did you kind of think were the major? How on point were you, Joel? Let's start with you. How on point was your?
I think my prediction was spot on. I think it came down to the invuln saves because my army doesn't have any way to ignore invulnerable saves. I have like 1 smite. I don't have a lot of mortal wounds, and with all those storm shields, I threw a whole lot of models into that objective, and I killed like 3 guys. I threw like 15 thunder hammer attacks and all these chain fist attacks and like all these normal attacks, and I killed a whole lot of nothing. I was flailing my arms around trying to hurt him, but he just kept making save after save after save. And I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean he automatically wins per se, but the issue is he was then like I was then losing a lot of guys faster than I was anticipating, so I wasn't able to hold him back long enough to score primary So he was able to start threatening my backline. And a really key thing was that one custodian next to the building in cover, making all the saves and not dying, and then sweeping away my primary on that fourth round. That was real bad. That was yeah.
So you felt like
That was real bad.
It's safe to say you felt like a Chaos Space Marines player into normal Space Marines.
I mean,
okay, yeah, but I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the successes, dude. That Calexis soaked up like 3 or 4 CP, lived, made him fight last. The Alaris did nothing.
but the issue is I spent all that CP for the fight last, and I did nothing.
That's true.
So, in all honesty, I don't think the Calexis genuinely did anything because I needed that fight last to matter. And since I made him fight last and I swung with my 15 or 16 Thunderhammer attacks and killed nothing, that means the Calexis essentially accomplished nothing because the 4 CP probably would have just been spent on trying to nuke another unit. So, yeah, he soaked up some command points, but that's not really why he's there. So, yeah, I think the fact that I really just kind of bounced off his dudes was not great.
Like 15 Thunderhammer attacks,
Oh.
yielding not a single
Yeah,
thing.
I couldn't believe
but I
that,
mean,
man.
okay, that was a big thing, like you said, but you couldn't mitigate it. So let's move to you, Nick, real quick. We talk about it all the time, and, I do
Rushing
think
dice.
that, I think that it is fair to say that when it comes to the major combats, I think your Alaris also charged, swung, and killed not a single thing. So, that was huge. But let's talk about your battle plan. I feel like it kind of changed up a little bit halfway through.
I was really hoping he was going to shoot the plane.
We were talking about that. We're like, he's
I-
going to shoot the plane, and then the first battle round, Joel goes, yeah, I'm probably not going to do anything to that plane. Let's not shoot it at all.
Yeah, and that was definitely the play because the missiles ended up killing valuable custodians. Like it's really unfortunate that I think it was turn 3, 6 crack missiles dealt 0 damage to the Alaris. That was a tragedy, but the rest of the game plan went kind of like I said. It was exactly like I was saying, where it's like I need to be on 3 objectives and be just trying to remove him from one. And if I get 9 on Strangle this game, it's a good game. If I get 9 on Vital this game, it's a good game. Me scoring went exactly how I expected. I did not expect to be able to deny this many points.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, we were talking about it over the course of this game. I think the game was lost, what I noticed, in one key move. And one key move was that Joel picked up with guerrilla tactics his eliminators and removed his board presence from 3 to 2. And when those guys went up, you zipped that tank over and took that objective. And then he also consequently caused him to lose 2 as well. And that zeroed you out on primary, which was huge.
It looked like a decision based on Rod, right?
Might I? Yeah. So my thought process there is he's gonna kill those eliminators with the plane anyways. Like we saw that on the last turn, he could nuke them with the plane easy. So if I leave him there, he can make that play anyways, where he moves the palace in, nukes them with the plane, and they're gone. And I can't get Rod.
Right.
So I think that was essential to get the Rod points, because if I hadn't done that, he would have made that same play, and I'm down 4 points.
Right.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like when he picked him up, I knew that like no matter what happens between the palace and the Ares, that objective is mine, and
Right.
it's much smarter to get the points on Rod, and it forced me to bring the Ares like all the way back to shoot those guys when I would have rather been shooting at the pile of like assault intercessors in the top who were threatening my game. So it was a good play.
Right. Yeah, I think that okay, I get you. Yeah, that does make sense. Now, there was also an interesting scenario where the eliminators could have came down and you had your 1 CP for the round. Maybe you could have tried to charge the hovering tank and sweep you back for the primary.
I actually forgot you could. Can you charge hovering planes?
Yes.
In this edition?
Yeah,
If it goes to hover,
Interesting.
you could charge it.
But
Yeah,
was it in hover mode?
Yes.
it was.
It was.
Yeah, it was in hover mode. Yeah.
I just don't think I even realized it was in hover mode.
We were talking about that because he was like, all right, boop, and at 180s,
Yeah.
and I had to float over, and I was like, so here's an interesting decision. Does he charge the plane or does he rod?
Because the thing there, but the issue is I'm gambling with a lot of points there, because if I choose to charge, I can't
It's a
rod,
gamble,
and then if
yeah.
I fail the charge, and I needed that CP to make the 9 charge over in the other quadrant, so I didn't have the reroll, and I came down. I could have come down outside of the crater, but still, if I fail that charge, I'm out 4 points. If I make that charge, I gain a couple of primary points, but I still I do lose the rod points, and I'm probably still dead to the plane anyways.
Right.
So I gain 1 point, which actually wouldn't have swung the game. A lot of these, I think, a lot of these like end game scenarios were a difference of a couple points. I think the biggest thing that impacted the game was turn 2, me bouncing off and just not killing. Turn 2 and 3, just not killing anything on objective number 3.
Yeah.
It was just devastating. And then he swung in and just killed everything. And I was just, because my 4-up invulnerable saves were
Only
just
goes so
not
far,
working,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, let's talk.
It eventually averaged out, but turn 3 was just a disaster.
So we got some.
He failed 6 out of 8
So
on the Terminators.
We got
against
some.
the
Got a
Alaris.
question from chat here. Nick, the list. How are you feeling about the list? Are you going to keep running it, or
Oh
are we
no,
going to see?
no. This list is going straight in the dumpster. This list is. It turned out to be much better into the matchup than I anticipated it being, but unless outside of like looking at like a tournament and seeing like 50 Deathwatch and Ultramarine players and needing to kill Dreadnoughts, I don't see myself really putting the Ares back on the table. It did not accomplish 450 points worth of stuff this game.
Right.
If I could have brought 4 more palaces for that cost, I would have.
Right.
Because the Ares not... Well, I don't know if it made you play more carefully with the characters turn 1 after getting the Mortals.
I mean, I wouldn't have played any more aggressive with the characters because I needed the characters alive for their buffs and their warlord traits. And if I threw them into the meat grinder on objective 3, then they would have just died on like turn 3 and then accomplished nothing. So it forced me to have to wrap them in that Terminator squad a little bit, but I don't think it changed my gameplay with the characters much.
That's fair. I was just wondering because if that bomb didn't influence your game plan, then that Ares didn't do anything all game besides shoot a single unit of eliminators.
The Ares. I think the Ares was definitely the least impactful thing in the game. I mean, it picked off some units here and there,
Absolutely.
but it really didn't affect anything
shade.
about how I moved or how I played the game really, because my game plan the whole game was just to ignore it, and because I knew it only threw out 5 shots a turn at most, and yeah, it would kill the squishy units here and there, which is like annoying, but. In all honesty, if he brought something else like more Palace or like a Telemon or something, they would have picked off those units regardless. So I don't think the plane really added anything that another custodian unit couldn't have added.
As soon as a match is completed like this tonight, we have people sign up. We choose someone usually by the following Monday. They come in and challenge the defender. And once again, once you get 3 in a row, you're the Warmaster, and you're taken out of the competition. You get the title. We've got a nice plaque up here, our chain sword or our chain axe on the wall.
Our chain axe, blood for the blood god.
So get your name up there, and then at the end of the year, we're going to have a Warmaster showdown to see who the real Warmaster is.
Ooh, the tournament of the one ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, and then a big thing to note is one thing is our contestants always the challenger gets to pick the mission. So it's an interesting thing that makes this really difficult to do. The challenger gets to really set the tone to kind of make it start out in not a huge advantage, but a little bit better setting than just a randomized setting. So sign up, get on there. It's hype, it's fun, and try your hand. It's a blast.
Yep. So thanks guys for coming in. Congratulations, Nick, on your win. Thanks, Joel, for playing tonight. Thanks again, Stephen, for commentating.